Anyone else like to share? How about you in the back with the glasses, sir?
My name's Bobby, and I am an addict.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby. You know, you folks aren't here because you're gamblers. You are here because you are terrible gamblers.
Okay, Bobby.
These folks don't need to stop doing what they're doing. They just need to get better at it. Who's stealing?
Please.
Who said?
Let's roll. The Twisted Tuesday has begun. The Pips, the players, the hustlers, the people of Busted, and everybody else in between, from Costa Rica to California, Montreal to Minnesota. Let's step up and in and rage. We actually have a lot of stuff to get to here this evening. Major League Baseball trade deadline has come and gone. There was a flurry of activity. We've got big news from the world of mixed martial arts and the UFC. It appears as though that Conor McGregor and Khabib are ready to throw it down. Word on the street is it's going to be in October. Conor McGregor told TMZ Sports today that they're real close. A lot of MMA sites are starting to pop up with it that they're shooting for October. There's a card in Vegas in October, and there's a card in November in New York in Madison Square Garden. Yet, you know, we all remember what happened to Conor McGregor last time he was in New York, right? So the thought was, and Khabib doesn't want to fight in New York, I don't think. I think it's going to be in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is the neutral. It's the neutral site, so to speak. So we're gonna hit that this evening. We'll talk Conor and Khabib. I fired off a poll question a couple hours ago. We'll check in on that on Twitter. We'll talk Major League Baseball trade deadline. For the record, late night baseball. I've got an Arizona and Toronto Blue Jay Oakland Athletic parlay going here. I got the D-backs to win the game, and I got the Athletics to win the game at plus 149. I'm on the Los Angeles Dodgers with Ferris Bueller. And we're going back to what we took last night again with the under in the Houston and Seattle game. Under 8. So we're going Los Angeles Dodgers, under 8 in Seattle, Houston. And we're already on a parlay here with the Athletics, but I think the Athletics beat I think the A's are a good play to beat the Jays just outright as well on their own. So that's the late night action here. To repeat, Oakland Athletics, LA Dodgers, Seattle, Houston, under 8. Those are our 3 late night baseball picks. Oakland Athletics under 8 in the Seattle Houston game, and the LA Dodgers to beat the Brewers. The Brewers actually picked up Scope. Blue Jays just lead off the game with what appears to be a double, unless he gets thrown out, and he doesn't. So, yeah, there's a ton of Major League Baseball trade talk. Jeff Feinberg gets Gravel Tuesday. Jeff Feinberg will join us. It's the Bridgestone Invitational, which this is unique. It's a unique tournament, this tournament, because there is no cut. So we'll let Feinberg explain us the there's no make the cut parlay for this, because there is no cut. There is no cut. We do have a major next week that we're going to be able to hit those make the cut parlays, and there'll be a million props and all that type of stuff. I love the golf majors because of all the betting options. But the Bridgestone's a pretty big one. Tiger Woods actually won this thing 8 motherfucking times, I believe. It's hard to believe, or he's won 8 times on this course. So Jeff Feinberg is pretty hot with the golf picks. Yeah, listen, we killed it in the last major a couple of weeks ago. Feinberg's guy is Dustin Johnson, and I know he went big on Dustin Johnson to win the Canadian Open. It was like plus 550 only, but still, it's pretty good. And in fact, I'm actually regretting the fact that I did not do the same thing. Yeah, Spenny Mac. I was looking for to make the cut parlay this week. Can't find it. It's like, damn, there is no cut. It's not a major. obviously, but the major's next week. And this tournament is a deep-ass field. It's a big one. Yeah, the Bridgestone's a big one. A lot of people think Tiger Woods can win this week because he's been so successful here in the past. And he played pretty well at the British Open as well. So I'm not going to discount Tiger Woods. I think Tiger Woods is in contention this week. My problem with Tiger Woods is the fact that Tiger Woods is the third favorite in this tournament. Dustin Johnson is the favorite at 7-1. Rory's the second favorite at 11-1. Then you got Tiger at 12-1. Justin Rose at 14-1. You know, I just don't see Tiger, you know, justifiably laying these type of numbers. You know, Jordan Spieth is 16-1. The Fowler fanboys, I'm surprised they haven't bumped the number up more than 20-1 for Ricky Fowler. Jason Day's 20-1. Justin Thomas is 22-1. So Feinberg will join us in a couple of minutes. We'll talk golf with Feinberg. I'm going to be on tomorrow morning. My first ever appearance on the round table. So I don't know who's not on tomorrow. I don't know who's not on tomorrow and who I'm replacing, but we'll be on the round table tomorrow morning. And I actually have I have early early stuff anyway. So now I really have early stuff because I'll be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, I'm doing this for my boy Drew Martin. You know, even though Drew Martin has not come on various times after I've asked him. But listen, I do so many shows and people give me so much of their time, the guests. I feel obligated when people ask me to go on one of their shows. I'm like, yeah, how can I say no, fuck? I ask people to come on my shows every fucking day. It's annoying, fuck. I liked it better in the old days when we had producers and shit like that. They just told me, all right, this is who we have on today. That's what I used to tell Orville, fuck. I used to tell him, listen, I don't care. Just book fucking anyone. I tell him, doesn't matter. That's what made the show good because I wasn't boxed in on anything. I basically tell him, listen, I don't care. Book a football player, a wrestler, a hockey player, a basketball player, a fucking UFC fighter. It doesn't matter. So anyways, I got a message from Drew Martin. Looks like the Blue Jays going to take a 1-0 lead here, and they do. I got a message from Drew Martin. Hey, Morency, can you come on tomorrow on the round table? So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Then he sends me a list of things we're going to talk about. A bet on fade on pitcher right now in Major League Baseball. A Toronto Blue Jay Oakland Athletic breakdown. 60 seconds of Cameron. CFL bets. Extended CFL talk with Gabe and Babano. 60 seconds of Cameron. Babano's never done anything in 60 seconds in his life besides maybe, yeah. I don't, it's like, all right. Then it goes on. College conference football previews. ACC, champion and sleeper. Single games you're looking forward to bet on. NFL divisional previews. NFC South preview. Winner, sleeper, single games you're looking forward to bet on. Best bets for Wednesday's card. What, you don't want any fucking thoughts on the fucking the United States track and field meet this weekend? So, is there anything else like you forgot to put on the fucking list? I mean, I'm surprised there's not like a fucking thing on here. NHL power rankings. Who do you like in the upcoming NHL season? Yeah, exactly, HDC. Yeah, what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Like, 60 seconds. It's like a grocery list. It's like, oh, come on, man. I thought I was going to be off for 10 minutes, man. Now I see it's a fucking hour show. It's all good. It's all good. It looks like they have quite the show lined up tomorrow. NFC South divisional preview. Give me the Carolina Panthers. ACC champion. Fuck. The ACC is really down this year. Clemson wins easily, maybe runs the table. CFL talk. Johnny Manziel starts this week. Another thing that we'll get to. Johnny Manziel starting this week for the Montreal Alouettes. Another thing that we'll get to is, for the record, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are the team playing the Montreal Alouettes. And, of course, Johnny Manziel's coming from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So you would know that he knows. You know that he knows every little thing about the Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. He's been there for the entire camp. For pretty much the entire camp and the first 7 weeks of the season. So Manziel will have a little bit of insight for the Montreal Alouette coaching staff about the little variables of Hamilton. It's almost like a do-over right now, too, for the Montreal Alouettes. It's like a do-over for the Montreal Alouettes. The CFL season is so incredibly long that there's still a lot of time for the Alouettes to make the playoffs. As crazy as that is. Speaking of which, you see a fucking 2-win team won the Arena Bowl the other night. I was on them too. We appreciate that, Dog Willie. Got to represent the Montreal Expos. Jeff Feinberg representing the LA Chargers here tonight, which is a surprise because Feinberg doesn't really own a lot of Charger gear. So I don't know where you dug this out from. We're off to a great start with Feinberg here this evening. All right, here we go. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Gabe?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm just watching the Phillies gag this one away from me.
You seem a little bit more stressed than usual here this evening.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've been playing. I had a really hot weekend with MLB, so I felt invincible, and now I'm getting humbled. It's such a so stupid. I'm an idiot. I need the Phillies though. I got the Pirates tonight. I hit that one. I need the Phillies here because it's a bad. I've lost so much money on the Padres the last 2 days. It's stupid. Like I'd be embarrassed to say I'm an idiot.
I was on San Francisco last night. I didn't touch the game today. I was on them last night. Betting against the Boston Red Sox is a dangerous thing to do, Jeff.
Yeah, they were up. The Phillies up 3-1 going to the bottom of the ninth, and I think they just walked and hit a guy. So you know how this is about to end.
Baseball, it is true what you said, and I've always said this about baseball. Betting on baseball is the exact same thing as a professional hitter in baseball, in which a hitter can go 4 for 4. You can go 4 for 4 gambling, and you can think, oh, I got this thing figured out. I'm in a groove. And then the next day, the batter can go 0 for 4.
Yeah.
And say, I don't fucking understand this at all. And then the next day, he can go for 4 again. And it's like, I can't believe it seems like in another life that I used to go fucking 3 for 4 and 4 for 4 every night. Like it's sort of like golf. I've always said it. Golf, hell, I'm a terrible golfer, but even I've had birdies on holes. Yeah. I can't have birdies on 18 holes, right? So It's like you can get humbled so quickly. Like a golfer can get humbled so quickly, a pro golfer even, where shit can go bad in a hurry. But baseball, I've always found baseball players and baseball bettors have a lot in common, in which it's very, very fragile.
I actually really agree, and I think that's a great analogy. The batting, the day-to-day of the major league hitter to a gambler. And while like the gambler would, be happy to take, just over 50%, that big leaguer, if he hits 260, he's going to stay around for eight years. So 12 years.
Nowadays, fuck, you could hit 220. I mean, I don't know. The league average is as low as it's ever motherfucking been.
But yeah, guys don't hit 260 anymore.
No, 260, you're good now.
That's like a lost start. Yeah, I don't know. Baseball.
Like the Boston Red Sox have the best batting average in baseball. And last I checked, they were in like the 265 range. Jeff, it's the lowest Major League Baseball collective batting average as a league since 1973.
Yeah, you could probably do a whole show on this. I wouldn't be the guy to do it with, but it's incredible what's happening. It's either strikeout or home run. Yeah. Nothing else seems to happen. The games are arguably incredibly boring.
Less balls in play. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no, look at the plate, oh my God, a double play, it's just close. Like, there's not. Everything's a strikeout, a walk, or a home run. And everyone's standing around. Like, even players are standing. Like, they're fucking bored as fuck. They just stand there, like, in the outfield. And, nothing ever goes their way. I don't know, dude. They're talking about lowering the fucking mound. They're moving down. They've got all kinds of crazy ideas.
Baseball's got problems. Golf has its own problems, Gabe. You just see what's happening. It was great to watch the Open Championship. That -6, -8 score, I really think is my favorite type of tournament. I
want to see the golfers challenged. I hate
these courses and the new breed of player. I mean, Dustin is part of it, yes, but every kid that comes out now, Gabe, they hit it like 300, 330. The golf courses are becoming obsolete. I don't know whether they're supposed to do something, tinker with the ball, but courses, the USGA needs to, if they live by their,
almost need to revolutionize golf and say, you know what, we got to make this course fucking 9,000 fucking yards, not 7 now.
Yeah, and that's impossible for guys like you or me or guys that just want to play, that get to play once every a few times a year, or in my case more, but yeah, I don't know.
If everyone's always making the shot all the time, right? I mean, it's kind of boring. I mean, that's the thing. We get it that they're all good, but let's be real too. The problem is Glen Abbey, isn't it? Like that was one of the problems.
Yeah, but Glen Abbey, I mean, it's part of it. But look at the week before the Open at John Deere, which is it was the same thing. What week him won at 23 or what have you. It's what we call, in the golf community and people sort of around the game, they refer to it as bomb and gouge. And what that means is the big hitters can just hit it so far that as long as they're not like when it goes bad, as long as they're not OB, when you're 100 yards to the green, 80 yards to the green, I'll flip a wedge in there. I'll get on the green. Some of them will be 20 feet from the pin. A couple of them will be 5 feet from the pin. But yeah, it's just called bomb and gouge. When you're in, and when you bomb accurately, you're setting up great. And when you don't, gouge is just referring to just chuck it up there and get it on the green and play for the next hole. That it's really what's just sort of happening in every good young player that's come on. No good young players hitting it less than like 310, 320. And they all do it consistently now. It's not just a couple of them like it used to be. It's kind of like every new kid can do it. And it's the USGA, part of its mantra is to protect the integrity of the sport. And there's people, waving their arms up in the air saying, you've got to step in right now and protect the game. And I don't know whether that means dialing back the ability of the golf ball to fly that far, but the entire world of golf course is kind of going to become obsolete, and it's not an easy fix to make them bigger.
No, that's the thing. So then why don't you fucking really, really get sadistic with pin placement and stuff to take it away? Because as you stated,
Gabe, you would.
golf courses were designed, they're sort of skipping the second shot. You know what I mean? Like,
in many cases,
were designed to, like, all right, let's see if you can put it in the middle. And now we want to test your iron play and see if you can put it on the green.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, well, I'll fucking nail it, and it's not really an iron. I'm just going to sort of fucking chip it on the green after, or I'll hit the green.
Yes, and Gabe, I mean, I guess to your point, that's a good lead-in for this week and next week, the PGA Championship, because these are both on my looks. I mean, next week is a par 70, 7,500-yard course. It is about your second shot. Your second shot will be from 170, 190 yards in. This week at Firestone is very much a second shot, long iron course is the type of player that I'm looking at. But
so is Tiger used to be dominant here. Is he still that player now? Like, one of the reasons even I like Tiger at Carnoustie, because we knew his game was tailor-made, especially with the fucking hot grass and the rolls and and everything. I mean, Tiger before was dominant on this course, but he's not the same player. He's not the same power guy. Now, as you stated, all the young guys can fucking outpower him.
Fair. But I'll tell you what, Tiger seems to be making lots of courses work for him that you could argue traditionally wouldn't. I'm quite high on Tiger this week, Gabe.
Chris Large is making some good points. The rough isn't rough enough. I'll give you that. I don't know, man. They bitch all the fucking time. They're all spoiled, right? I mean, I remember, Bubba Watson was complaining. Fuck, I don't know if it was in Montreal about the rough and fucking, some guys don't want to be challenged. Yeah, I think it was Bubba that was saying if it was up to him, every tournament would be in Arizona and California type shit. He's like, I don't even know why we come here. It's windy and like it's bullshit. We should be playing in perfect conditions. That's not a challenge. I want to see them actually challenged. That's why I like the majors. But it seems like even the USGA is sort of rolled over, as we talked about last month.
In many ways, they did.
They think scoring is entertaining. I think they think, hey, if somebody puts a fucking 59 up, that'll be good for TV and people want to watch that. But it isn't if everyone does it. And if you can't really differentiate it, I think the average fan gets a bigger kick out of watching the best guys actually struggle and watching them go, oh, fuck, that's tough. And then you actually sympathize with the players and you would build more of a rapport where the players would almost seem like an underdog. Like, holy shit, fuck, this player's got to take on this beast of a golf course now. As it is now, you don't sympathize with the player, and every fucking asshole, it's basically you miss a putt and, you're kind of fucked, but every asshole's just fucking drilling it. It is a problem. It's kind of boring because of it.
Well, hopefully the next couple weeks and coming home down the stretch this year, it plays out a bit different than this run.
Brooks is saying in the chat, there's no issues with golf, but there is issues with overall sponsorship, Nate. I mean, there's actually tournaments without sponsors. Yeah, the money isn't there. I follow closely. Like the sponsorship monies aren't there. They got to hustle it more. I would say that the popularity of golf in Europe is really, really strong. So I'm not saying the sport of golf on a whole, but there's a reason, Brooks, why they're fucking tinkering with their schedule all the time.
They're certainly not
totally redoing next year's schedule.
They're certainly not in the type of trouble that, say, NASCAR appears to be. I know it's completely different demographics, but it hasn't been great. But again, you see when Tiger plays, you saw Sunday at the Open Championship, Gabe, those TV numbers. Tiger is special. And if they can find a way, I can only imagine what it'll be if Tiger gets in the heat of it against one of these other anointed young players. And I think Tiger, we've been seeing it. He's been playing great.
Golf, Tiger it's funny. He's here to save golf again, this motherfucker, huh? He can't keep doing this because really without Tiger, who do people want to see?
No, and you're right. Without Tiger, it's proven that it gets an audience, but it doesn't do big. It doesn't do big things. Jordan Spieth, hot young American, Rory McIlroy. They didn't sort of golf consistently was putting up down numbers for their big events, and it's nothing those players can do. Tiger's just a different animal, Gabe, and I think it's winning time. He's in form. He's going to a course he loves. I am drinking that Tiger Woods Kool-Aid this year. I haven't bet him a ton. I recall I bet him at the Players, and I bet him at Memorial. So this will be my third attempt at betting Tiger Woods this year. But again, he is in form. I do worry a bit of off the tee, but his irons have been solid, and it's only a matter of moments to me before it starts to click like old Tiger on the green. I shouldn't say old Tiger because that's not fair, because that'll never happen again.
Here, this is interesting. Remember when Mexico played Germany in the World Cup? That was on Fox earlier in the day, and they also had the British Open on Fox. Or sorry, the U.S. Open on Fox. Excuse me, the U.S. Open on Fox. And the golf actually did better than fucking Germany and Mexico on TV, on Fox TV. Except it doesn't. They're saying here that doesn't count in the fact that 7 million people were watching on Fox.com on the soccer. So, but it's goes to show though that a major tournament gets some pretty good numbers. It's not bad still.
Yeah, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but everyone was quite not surprised. The Sunday numbers at the Open Championship were the best in years, and that had to do with one thing: Tiger Woods.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, it's just he is very similar to and it's amazing. Fuck the Jays, eh? It's like fuck, they're just.
Oh yeah, they're in big trouble.
They score a run in the first, you figure, all right. It's just they have bad luck, they make bad plays. It's like a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah,
like bad defense, but then they have bad luck. The ball just sort of lands like just barely fair. It's like you make your own luck, though. I mean, they're just so bad defensively. But anyways, 2-1 A's right now. The bases were loaded. They got runners off first and second.
Worst in the league, and obviously a lot of other things went well for them. And I don't want to get into a Jays thing. Like if you recall the years, like they did well. Their starting pitching was always healthy, and they were always 1 and 2 in the American League in defensive efficiency. Yeah. Now they're like 14th, and not to say if they were 6th or 5th in defensive efficiency, they'd be better. But yeah, everything is just what a total clusterfuck. What a total clusterfuck.
And you can't listen. And I don't blame everything of the Blue Jays' woes on John Gibbons. I was critical of him years ago. I think he's had his moments where he's done a better job. He seems to have just sort of checked out now, to be honest. But that is one thing that's reflective of a manager.
Well, Gabe,
he can't control the roster. He can't control slumps. He can't control if his pitching staff sucks. He can control the defense, or at least the attention to detail and the commitment to defense. And he never has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at the first day of the year this year when he said, I never saw Donaldson throw in spring training. I didn't know his arm hurt. It's like, well, how do you never see him throw? He never did defensive drills. Like, he's never emphasized, listen, we're shitty at defense and it's got to stop. We've got to make the right play. There was sort of lip service about it once for like a few weeks, and it just evaporated. It's like that's reflective of a manager on that. If you're a manager and all the time you've got shitty defense and you've got players that could be good defenders, Jeff, to me that's on John Gibbons.
Yeah, well, he's got no chance to keep his job, and that's not really maybe a thing on Gibbons, Gabe. It's just, how do I put this? This team is going to look so different next year. It's going to be a lot younger. I don't think he's the right guy for like younger kids. I don't want these young kids brought up onto this team right now because it's just a bunch of veterans who have quit. Like, I don't want any of the top young prospects to be surrounded by what's happening in that clubhouse right now. And you've watched baseball long enough, Gabe. It's the veterans are the first to quit. I mean, they know it's done, 3 weeks before like any kid realizes like it's happening. if that makes any sense. All around baseball, the veterans are the first to quit. Just
I like the pregame show of the Jays today. All the Jays trades. I don't know who said it. Fuck, one of the idiots on Sportsnet was, well, the Jays came to a conclusion that they're just, they're not going to catch up to the Yankees and the Red Sox this year. It's like, wow. I mean, did they come to that conclusion today? Really? Like, it's just fucking. It's like, wow. But the one thing is, as you mentioned, there's some pieces for the future, except that future is years away, Like, we're talking 3 years, let's say. Next year, you have Guerrero up here. I guess the Bichette kid's pretty close too, right? So, if you have Bichette, Guerrero, the Drury kid that they fucking got from the Yankees, he'll be a starter next year. I mean, they've definitely gotten younger, but they're still way fucking behind everyone else in the division. So, yeah, it's like they're spinning the wheels. The entire organization. It's not a, it's just an entity.
It's also disappointing because anyone with a fucking clue know what's supposed to and what's going to happen this offseason should have happened last offseason. A completely wasted year that anyone with any sort of foresight should have realized, and they botched assets. They botched Donaldson's trade value. They botched Hap's trade value even. Should have been traded like a month or 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, when he was hot. I know.
Yeah. They've botched those assets in terms of when they should have traded them. Everyone thought that, at least I for sure, but I thought Donaldson should have been traded in the offseason because it was clear as day this team wasn't going to be good enough this year. And he had to get a return on that asset. And now, I don't know, the Jays can honestly offer him the 1-year tender, like, that he might accept, and it might be overpaying him. Because who knows what his sort of, like, what sort of contract does he get next year from anybody? Be interesting to see.
Let's take a look at the Bridgestone Invitational. So explain this to us here. So what's the deal? There's no cut, right?
Yeah, it's a WGC. So it's no cut, and you realize the field's it's 73 guys, I want to say. Yeah. And you only get in by world ranking. So it was great to see Tiger finally get into one of these. His great performance at the Open Championship got him inside the cut line to qualify for the event, Gabe. And as it's been no secret all week, it's a tournament he's won 8 times. If I wasn't feeling Tiger, the guy at the top that would have my attention is Rory McIlroy. I think he's playing significantly better than meets the eye. When it goes bad, it's bad. But I think his last, 6 or 5 events, a second, an 8th, a miscut, a 12th, a 28th, a second. The fact that he lost or was, in that group that tied for second at the Open Championship, when I don't think anything went right for him on the greens for 3 days, and he was still there in the end, just sort of speaks to his talent, and he sort of feels like he's on the precipice of blowing for a big win that we've all kind of been waiting for, but it feels like it's still coming.
Now, a player that was catching my eye looking at this was Justin Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Justin Rose catches our eye every week. Fuck. I mean, for the
he's just been so good. He's been so consistent. Going back, his last 5 events, Gabe, a win, a 6th, a 10th, a 9th, a 2nd. And if we went farther back,
consecutive top 10s, a win in Fort Worth, and a runner-up at the British Open.
Yeah, and he's been playing great since Christmas. And thank God he got that win in Fort Worth. Or it'd be like, what the hell? Like, you can't play statistically any better. I'll say this. I don't think I've bet Rose a single time this year. And not to say that I don't think he can win, but I don't know. He's just not for me, but I can't make any case about going to the window with Justin Rose. He also has a nice track record here. He's got a bunch of top fives in the recent years. Never been able to win here at Firestone. But it's a long course, and he's a very accurate player, and he's good with the long irons.
I'd rather have Tiger Woods at 12-1 than Justin Rose at 14-1.
Yeah, I got Tiger at 14. I pounced on it. I sort of waited like a foaming mouth on Monday morning to get a Tiger Woods bet in here. Yeah, I get that, but they're taking a lot of Tiger money, so that's more what that's a reflection of.
So last week, DJ, your boy, and I'm pissed at myself because you and I have talked about this where I said, you know, in the golf world, a lot of golf bettors would be like, oh, there's no way I can take an 8-1 or a plus 700 or a plus 600 even. And I've always said, well, if you're a sports bettor, you know, that's like winning 6 bets in a row. And you're like, oh, that's pretty good value. And you sort of look at, you know, the bettor might look at it differently. But even me, I thought it was just, I couldn't justify it when it was all the way down to plus 450 last week in the Canadian Open. But even when, you know, he was in like 15th or 16th, Cam told me, he goes, he'll still win. And he goes, you should just grab him now. But he was only plus 550 then. And I never did, but I was kind of struggling with some other sports at the time. Yeah. So I wasn't in the best zone at that moment. But it pissed me off after. That's the type of play. I'm like, fuck, I should have just put 200 on it to win $1,100 back after. Dustin Johnson ends up winning. Now here he is again. He's 7-1 here, but it doesn't feel like the same certainty that he wins here as he did last week in Canada, right?
No, certainly not. And yeah, it's no secret. I sort of laid the wood with Dustin last week. Again, I waited. They didn't put odds out till about Monday late in the day. I got a 650. I jumped on it instantly. It's funny, 7-1 to win this one. It was 650 to win the Canadian Open when I played it.
Yeah, and the Canadian Open field, easier.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just
like the field like we have here. It was against a bunch of Canadian dudes.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think he's a great pick. And when on Sunday, I actually bet him to win the PGA Championship at 13-1. I'm sure that's gone down because he's won since. Because when he wins, he gets really hot. So I am concerned he's going to win this week. Like we saw him win in Memphis, and then we saw him dominate the U.S. Open for about 3 rounds, and you know he still finished third with a major next week. I hope he doesn't win this one because I'd like to see him win the next one. But something about Dustin, he historically when he wins, he kind of follows it up with a few really strong performances in a row, and it's a long and tight course. So you know it does suit him.
Rory's 11-1. I know Rory's playing all right, but I can't justify that.
Yeah, I spoke about that. If I wasn't in on Tiger and I wanted to stomach the top, I would be leaning Rory. He won here a few years ago. His last 2 times here is a win and a 5th. Actually, Gabe, in his last 6 runs here, he's got 5 top 10s. So he loves this place. Not Tiger Woods type love, but it really does suit what he does well. And as I mentioned, I think he's playing quite fantastic at the moment. So yeah, if I wasn't on Tiger, I would be actually wanting to bite on that.
I see it was actually Justin Rose's birthday the other day. 38 years old. Rose has 18 top 10 finishes in his last 23 worldwide starts. Very, very consistent and impressive.
And insanely impressive.
How about this, though? Dustin Johnson currently leads the PGA Tour in par 3, par 4, and par 5 scoring.
Yeah, Gabe. And I think he's got a win percentage in his last, 50 events of, 22%. So that's pretty good.
I wanted to bring this up with Cam today. I'll bring it up with him tomorrow, but I forgot to. But what the fuck, man, is Bryson DeChambeau's problem? This guy's a fucking asshole, man. You see him in Europe this weekend?
I'll tell you what. I mean,
we're gonna call out Phil. We gotta call this.
No, listen, Gabe, you gotta let me go. That I was gonna say, it's Tuesday night and I'm calmer and I'm on that medicine. But I just want to say I was triggered. That to me, is right there with Phil. in terms of like the most egregious thing I've seen in the year. It's a tie for first place. The worst thing I've seen on a golf course. This guy, 17 years, hasn't won. You can't respect the game and give the man the respect. Like, that's not cool, Bryson. Like, that is, for a guy that talks himself, into being the smartest guy in the room, I expect to learn from it. But that was really bad. Like, that was, I don't know.
Apology very insincere, too.
Yeah, it was all, the whole situation is very bothersome. And I'm pro Bryson. So that was really gross. Gross.
If you guys missed it, basically, instead of shake the guy won, they're on the green, and like golf, like gentlemen, he took, he went to shake his hand, and fucking DeChambeau just stormed past him. Fuck.
Like, you've seen NFL head coaches who legitimately despise each other, I think, show more respect at the end of a game. And we know. I'm pretty certain we know Bryson is just so.
The thing too, like and of course he does it in Europe, just to fucking sort of push that ugly American stereotype, right? Like if he did it in America, you get whatever. But of course, you got to do it in Europe, where they were pissed in Europe too about it.
They should be. That was ugly.
They take Anakin seriously. I remember the British media were livid about Phil Mickelson. They were like, what if Tommy Fleetwood did that? Fuck. They were really, really, they thought it was a disgrace. So, and now you got DeChambeau in here. Like I said, after, he was fucking very unapologetic. It was one of those, I'm sorry if you were offended type thing.
Yeah.
Here he is, fucking. Here he's apologizing. It's a bullshit apology. You know what they say though, Jeff? If you're the smartest guy in the room, find another room. Fuck.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen. The smartest guy in the room doesn't need to tell anybody he's the smartest guy in the room. Man, people just know you're the smartest guy in the room. The guy who's telling you is the smartest guy in the room certainly isn't.
Yeah, I know. It's like people that say, "Trust me." Yeah, and guys that say to girls, "Trust me, I'm a nice guy." If you have to say you're a nice guy, then you're probably not the greatest guy. All right, so we'll blast through some of the names here. So you seem to be pretty stuck around on Tiger here. We got Spieth at 16. The Fowler Fanboy clubs at 20-1 this week. Jason Day's at 20-1. Justin Thomas 22-1. Rahm's 25. Molinari. I mean, the way this motherfucker's playing, it seems like the odds are a little big for this guy. I mean,
yeah, the odds do.
What country, what course, what continent, he just shows up and plays well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was sort of my first takeaway from the week, and I'm not betting him, but you notice so much recency bias in the odds, at least at the very top. Dustin off his win, Rory, Rose, Tiger all had great Open championships, and everyone that's sort of like let people down a bit all kind of fell off a little down the board. But there's Molinari, and he's at still like 28-1. And he was 33-1 to win the Open Championship, at least when it went off, and he won the sucker. It's just incredible because I'm not calling him a mid-range player. His world ranking now would be so much different. I think he's like 7th or 8th in the world at this exact moment, Gabe. But it is, in my opinion, so rare to see the second or even the third tier guys run off these sorts of winning streaks. Like if a super elite player does what he's doing, it kind of feels normal. But you rarely see like guys who aren't in that elite tier put together this run.
You know what it is too? And Cam always talks about this with the Asian players, but this is a case of which if fucking instead of for Francisco Molinari, his name was Frank Martin. And he went to
of course.
Texas.
There's
the
no
odds
doubt.
would be 12-1 this week, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
oh
so
my God.
I look at it like that. We're getting value because
oh my God. If Fowler would be like a pick'em if Fowler had the last 10 weeks as this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I always sort of see that there's some bias. There's always seems to be a popularity contest in some of it. Well, I will make the case that there's value. Like part of me just has to believe these wins are like finite, and he's run out of them. That might be a stupid way of looking at it, but that's just how I would see it. Fowler always plays well here. I know people will hate on him, but it is a course that sets up for long irons, and that's one of his strongest skill sets. John Rahm, Gabe, in his last 5 events, he's got 3 top 5s and 2 missed cuts. Those 2 missed cuts. Those 2 missed cuts happen to be the majors, the U.S. Open and the British Open. I guess since this one isn't a major, I think this is a decent opportunity for Rahm this week. He's number 5 in the world. He's 25-1, maybe even higher in some spots. Out of that group, he would be a guy that I'm sort of looking at.
One guy we didn't bring up here who kind of flies under the radar, but when I was watching him play, I was impressed with his game and his demeanor, and that's Schauffele, Xander Schauffele.
Yeah, I have a bet on Xander at 50-1, Gabe. This guy just seems to have a knack for difficult situations. And at 50-1, that was one of the first bets I made. I thought it screamed opportunity. And yeah, I'm in. I'm definitely in.
All right, I like that. Yeah, that's, those are the guys. Molinari's probably not going to fucking win, but just from an odds perspective, sort of jumps off the page at me. And I'm sort of attracted to these guys in that price range. Shot 33-1. What about Zach Johnson at 45?
Yeah, I don't know, game. There's like a 678-yard hole. I just don't see it.
678, fuck.
I don't know. The last, just as an
shots.
The last guys to win.
Patrick Reed's 50-1, fuck, but
that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Reed. He played the Open, then he was over in Germany. He's playing a lot of golf right now. I'm not. This doesn't sort of see a course that I think works for Ricky. Me, I'm always think that guys like Fleetwood and Noren kind of fly under the radar. Fleetwood back to 30-1, despite finishing 12th at the U.S. Open and I think 5th or 6th in Canada. I mean, at the U.S. Open, at the Open Championship. So it's not like he's played bad at all, and they've just doubled his odds from what they thought they would be at the Open, right? So, not a bad chance there. And Noren, his last 2 starts are a win and 17th at the Open Championship, and I think he hits his long irons incredibly well. So those are always 2 guys that sort of catch my eye. And then there's Schauffele, and then sort of because I'm on Tiger, my bets are kind of limited. It's Tiger, and then I'm on Xander.
Yeah, we got the major next week. That's where we'll have some fun.
Yeah. Tiger, then I go to 50-1 with Xander, and then 66-1 with Cantley, and then 80-1 with Chappell. Those are the bets I have made. Chappell seems to be finding some form again, and he's got a 3rd and a 13th in his only 2 starts here. So I don't know. I see maybe he can be back to his old self. And if anyone's looking for a super long guy this week, hard to say, but I don't know. I got a good feeling about Gary Woodland. His game's supposed to be trending in the right direction, but that's in the 150, 125 to 1 range.
What about fucking Mariano Grillo at 125-1?
Yeah. I bet Grillo for that whole run that it seemed like everyone, where he was statistically off the charts. I just feel like he missed his window, Gabe. Yeah. His form was fantastic for that period of time. You do the show with Cam, who I know loves is a Grillo guy. But yeah, a few weeks ago, I'd be salivating at this number. I guess it certainly wouldn't shock me, but I sort of feel like that window of fantastic play for Grillo, he kind of missed a chance to win, and I haven't seen it from him. A couple missed cuts recently, so
that's a guy Here's a guy, Jeff, that's been good to me, and I don't know what it is, bro, but I'm doing well with DraftKings every golf tournament. Like,
Who? Grillo or Luke List?
This past week, we fucking had 609 points. We quadrupled our money fucking a tournament. No, a guy that's 200 to 1, and he's been good to me. He's been good to me. He's been good to me for fantasy purposes. It's fucking what's his name? Austin fucking Cook. Fuck.
Yeah. Very.
Oh, he's 150 to 1. I could have swore I just saw him at 200 to 1. He's 150 to 1 now. Austin Cook.
Yeah.
But maybe like an Austin Cook, like a T20 or something. Like that's kind of a long shot still, but it was still pay nice.
Listen, he's been on a nice, decent run. I don't think he's never played here before. This might be his first ever World Golf Championship event, which I'd say outside of the majors, outside of the Masters, is an incredibly prestigious thing because, as I mentioned, it's only like top 70 in the world. These other majors, especially next week, is a huge field. So you feel special. Put it this way: it's the first time Austin Cook's going to a tournament knowing he's getting paid. He's playing 4 days, regardless of what he does. So that's a pretty good feeling. Making these WGCs is no joke. Like you said, everyone gets paid. I don't personally; they're my least favorite for DraftKings.
Yeah,
just because I feel like part of the fun in DraftKings is getting the 6 for 6 through.
Is getting that guy to make the cut. Those two guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy was Damon. Yeah, Joel did it for me.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like Austin Cook or other guys have been doing for you. Those difference makers. Here, it really just. Yeah, I mean, this one, like nothing matters almost till Sunday because everyone's playing, and you know how Sundays work on tour. Some guys are going to get hot and win you all those green screens. So that's sort of where.
All right. So before I'll ask the guys in the chat before we get Jeff out of here. If you want, throw a couple of names we didn't bring up. If you guys want, somebody brings up Brooke Koepka at 28 to 1. Pittsburgh Bruce says Tony Finau and Luke List are his dark horses.
Yeah. I like Luke List a lot. Maybe that's a byproduct of by osmosis, sitting across from Pat each week. Finau 50 to 1. It feels fair. It feels fair. I don't know. I'm just not gonna go there. In that range, I took Xander and Cantley, but I love Tony Finau, and I much rather bet Tony Finau, Gabe. I'll say this in defending a Finau bet. I would so much rather bet Finau in these big field events where he's like 50, 60, 70 than when he shows up at these like where not other players are there and he's like 18 or 22 to 1. Because when it clicks for him, like there is no secret. He's the only guy in the top 10 in FedEx Cup points this year, Gabe, without a win. I mean, that just shows how like consistently dominant he is. I think he's 10th in Ryder Cup points without a win because he just plays so well week after week, but he misses too many 5-foot putts to win a trophy, unfortunately. But I'm not hating on the pick at all. I just not for me this week. I might want to bet him next week, though.
Couple more names on the way out. So we didn't talk about Spieth. Nate Brooks says he likes On at 75 to 1, and Spenny Mac says Charlie Hoffman. So what about Spieth, On, and Hoffman?
Spieth,
I'm in wait and see mode. Spieth needs to fucking win. Like
I'll say this, Gabe. I'll say this. As everyone knows, I'm sort of like part of like an anti-Spieth fan club. I took great pride in Gabe. I would have been dead if he won the Open because I have so many side bets versus people on like who will win a major next. So his like 5 over Sunday was a great relief to me. But you brought up a good point. He is probably, outside of Tiger Woods, the player that I'm so most interested to see what happens this week. Because he finally seems like things were going right at the Open. Now, this week, is it going to take that next step and break through and win? Or is it just going to go back to the guy we've been seeing for, I don't know, the last 8 months that we saw on Sunday? Where just nothing just seems to be off. And that Sunday round at the Open Championship game, while he was still in the very thick of it through like the first 14 holes, like a lot of guys were, he hit every green in regulation outside of number where he made the double bogey. And every hole's like you felt like it was only a matter of time before that 20-foot putt dropped. And they never dropped. And the day would drag on, and he'd obviously miss a couple 5 or 6 footers like he does. So which direction does Spieth go from that Open? Does it go to another great performance this week, or do we fall back into the guy that's just been an abyss? Charlie Hoffman, a nice little track record here. Finished 3rd place here last year. That was also off a playoff loss in Canada, so he was riding some great form, but a very sneaky play, maybe in the DraftKings. I personally don't see Hoffman winning. And who was it? Benny Ann. I'll tell you what, he fits the profile of what people are betting can win this week, except he's Benny Ann, so he's 70 to 1. While guys that do it a lot better and more consistently are 20 to 1. Yeah, I don't know. I personally think that was a learning experience, getting to go out with DJ last week on a Sunday in the final group. Hopefully he learned from it, Gabe. But I don't know, man. No rinky-dinky players been winning here. It's been really good players. Last year, Hideki. The year before, DJ. The year before, Rory. The year before, Tiger. So, no rinky-dinky guys.
And it's funny you say that because, and listen, you work with Pat Mayo, who's one of the best number analyst golf guys in the business, in the world. And I'm looking at the computer projections here for this tournament. Dustin Johnson projects number 1, Spieth number 2, Justin Rose number 3, Justin Thomas number 4, Rory number 5, Paul Casey number 6, Jason Day number 7. Here's Tiger Woods at 8. Like there's not a fucking long shot in the group here. Ricky Palmer, 9, Henrik Stenson 10, Webb Simpson 11, Molinari 12, Zach Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Kevin Na, Grillo. So Grillo's actually the sort of longest shot that's in the top 20 in the computer algorithm here. And
that's a good point to make, Gabe, that it is Grillo. But also in defense of what you're seeing is there isn't that guy, that model buster out there because they're not allowed in this tournament.
Yeah,
that like stat maven from because you're right. I know exactly what you're referencing, and you always see some guy that you don't care to bet, but he's like busting all.
That's where I use the DFS in correlation with betting, bro. Right?
Yeah.
If Drew Dinkmeyer's computer or Mayo's computer or fucking, you know what I mean, the Fantasy Pro consensus is all this, and I'm getting 125 to 1, then. I'm getting some pretty good value in a T20 bet or whatnot. Like I've really learned to use. It's one thing I've done best with DFS actually is I've learned how to use DFS knowledge with betting. Like I'm a lot better now than I've ever been in my life by far.
And I'll say this: last week was a great example of that. Benny On, who was like 50 to 1 to win the Canadian Open. But his DraftKings price, he was like stacked with a bunch of like 80, 90 to 1 guys in terms of what his DraftKings price was. And what do you know? He had a great week. So, yeah, you're not wrong on that, Gabe. And there's no secret because last week almost proved it. Because there was that event that went to a Monday finish, that sub-event from the Open Championship, golf odds were really late to come out last week. And DraftKings was really late to come out. And it was almost proved what everybody knows. They wait for the Vegas odds to sort of set a basis for their order model. And you see mistakes when they have to move just because business calls, when they reach a point of no return on a Monday that they just got to get them out. And Vegas hasn't gotten theirs out. You do see it.
You get better value when they don't have the Vegas guideline, right?
Yeah, you do. You really, really do.
All right. So listen, before we get you out here, and it's always a pleasure. NFL football starts in less than 48 hours, actually. Thursday night, man, we've got a preseason football game. And in your division, obviously the Raiders are back. And I'm going to get to this after Jeff leaves too. We'll talk a little football here, but I'm going to tell you guys why the Raiders are a fucking mess. And they haven't even spoken to Khalil Mack. You see this?
I snicker inside at it, Gabe.
You're like, good. And what I like now, supposedly there was a rumor out of Buffalo that the Bills were going to tell the Raiders, listen, fuck, if you guys can't work this out, fuck, you like talk to us.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's
Buffalo,
great.
literally, he grew up in Buffalo. He played with the Buffalo Bulls, and he was actually just, I don't know why the Bills are so stupid. Like, just draft everyone from Buffalo. You'd have Khalil Mack and Rob Gronkowski on the team.
Listen, I thought when the Bills traded up to 4, I like jumped up and screamed. Like, I thought for sure it was going to be Khalil Mack, like that night. They took.
So they haven't spoken to Khalil Mack, but this is another thing. I say that John Gruden's out of touch, okay? And John Gruden's a very entertaining guy. I like Gruden. I enjoyed him in the booth. You know, whatever. He got a little cliched, but I think he's a good guy. I think he knows football. I think he's very entertaining and shit. I think he's tailor-made for television. Yet, and the thing with Gruden is you need to give him control to run a team. He didn't come to the Raiders to fucking be told what to do. And it was the same bullshit in Tampa where they were like, all right, we'll give you all the power and shit. Yeah, what happened? He won with Dungy's players. And then when he had the power after, he fucking destroyed them, right? With his player evaluation fucking decisions are whacked. And you see it with Marshawn Lynch, with Doug Martin, with Jordy Nelson. Who the fuck thinks that Jordy Nelson's better than Crabtree right now?
Unfucking believable. That like the free agent bell rings and this guy's running to sign Jordy Nelson, who I love. Like they're all fans of the guy, but it's incredible. And then the way they pursued Martin and Nelson, and then compare that with not taking care. The way they overpaid those guys, but they're not taking care of Khalil Mack is mind-boggling.
They're making money from 2 cities. They're selling tickets to Oakland. They got fucking personal seat license for sale in fucking Vegas. They're greedy as fuck. And this is the whole thing with NFL ownership. I tell people all the time, they can't hook up their best fucking player. Meanwhile, they're getting fucking free fucking stadium in Vegas. People are paying up the ass for the fucking personal seat licenses. But, they can't pay Mack. So, but now
you know what their merch, Gabe, the merch they're going to move, they're not allowed to sell. It's actually a big story. The counterfeiters are making a field day with the Vegas Raiders stuff.
There's all kinds. I'm going to be in Vegas. All kinds of shit.
The league won't officially allow any, their official people to make it and sell it yet. But the counterfeiters are selling it. But that'll be a cash cow in and of itself, the merch that they'll be selling, counterfeit or knockoff.
So this is the latest fucking piece of work from and I remember 2 weeks ago, Gruden was bitching about his remote control. And he couldn't figure out his remote control and about how fucking, old remote controls are better and shit. And, I got his point. He's old school. He's trying to get at the point he's old school. Okay. That's why it's going to be your downfall. That's what was Rex Ryan's downfall. That was Jeff Fisher's downfall. And that's going to be Gruden's downfall. You can tell by the player personnel that he thinks that is good. And then conversely, so here it is today, Raiders tight end Jared Cook, Jared Cook, basically, so camp opens and Gruden shows them fucking film. Jared Cook says he's bringing out film from like 1976 when you didn't even think they had film.
Oh, I love it.
Grainy. You can barely see the players. He's talking about adding these plays and these schemes. We can't even see what's on the screen. So basically, all right, it's funny, ha. But the thing is, what the fuck does Gruden think that worked in 1976 has suddenly not been seen before now? Is this, really? So this is it, fuck. Why don't you sign players from 1976 now too, fuck?
I didn't think it was a good signing when they made it. So here we are all these months later, and I'm not expecting them to be very good this year.
I can go on too. There's a big thing about Gruden talking about analytics and new school data.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was his first day on the job. I remember that one.
Fuck data and analytics. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. This
Gruden, I'll tell you this, Gabe. I'll tell you this, because every team has somebody or department of them. Can you imagine the disdain that Gruden looks at those fucking those nerdy fucking nerds walking through his operations, putting a binder on his desk with what they've sort of the analytics have given them, and he must like just throw it right out. I think. I don't know.
I think he's the type of guy that he wouldn't like take it and just throw it in the garbage. He seems like the type of guy that would open it up and start bitching at them and say, what the fuck does this mean? And really? Yeah, what do you know about this? And what do you know about this play?
And I get like
play? And he'll get right into sort of like the Seinfeld, Mendelbaum.
Yeah, sort of like, sorry, in this math, I don't see you quantifying for how much heart that guy has.
Yeah. Like, and the thing is, too, I don't know what he said. He goes, yeah, he goes, we have an analytic department, but I'm not going to let it run what I do. Well, in other words, you're just going to discount it right away. And it's funny, Jeff, because if you look, the teams in the NBA that are very analytic driven are all the good teams. Like, there's no real bad analytic team, really. You know what I mean? All like the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, the Toronto Raptors. Like, there's all these sort of analytic teams that are good. And then you get these other teams that are like, oh, fuck analytics, and I'm old school. It's like, yeah, well, that's why you're fucking 22-60. Fuck.
I don't know if you've spoken to your boy Warren Sharp put out an article a couple weeks ago on how bad the Chargers were on first down last year running the ball and how they consistently did it. And if they went and spread it out on first down, how much better, his math says they would have been. And people are sort of, like tweeting at him, not negative, like sort of like agreeing with him. And he's like, I'll tell you what, though. I assure you the Chargers know this. Like, they are not like finding out about this through like Warren's math. Like, even Warren's acknowledging, like, in that team, like in the organizations, like they have all of this math. They have this math, just or not.
They do, and what it comes down to, all that math and all that analytics don't mean jack shit once the game starts when fucking Anthony Lynn and his boys have the headsets on, right?
Yeah. Or it doesn't mean anything when you fumble the opening kickoff, and it's like, oh, okay, that's done with. Like, yeah,
that's the thing, though. That's the thing with play calling, and I was talking about this too, and I know Warren's good with this, and the A's are busting this wide open 4-1 right now.
But the thing with Warren's numbers is it doesn't account for in anyone's numbers. I'm not picking on Warren because I think he's actually as good as or better than them all. But the in-game variance factor doesn't account for it. And in-game variance is everything. The crucial penalty, the guy drops the ball wide open, they're first and goal from the 4, and they get no points. Like, his math can't account for that. It doesn't.
Good job last year, I thought, and that was what Romo's strength was. And I thought Romo, his best work was actually during a Bengals-Packers game, Jeff. And as you stated, you can send a play in and shit, yet there's variables here. And if the defense knows what's coming and they adjust, it's up to the quarterback, right? It really is. This is why the quarterback position isn't just, you can throw the football. You got to be smart. And there was a play last year when Andy Dalton, they lined up to run the ball, and fucking Romo said, he goes, look, Clay Matthews knows what's coming, Jim. He goes, Clay Matthews knows. And he goes, look, this is why Clay Matthews basically looked at a linebacker and told him, pinch in. And they they jammed the middle of the field, basically. And it was like a 3rd and 2 type of thing. And fucking Romo got pissed, He was like, Andy's a really good guy. I really like him, but, this is what holds him back. And he was genuinely angry. And he basically stated that because Dalton didn't adjust, and Dalton fucking handed the ball off, and it got popped. And Romo said, listen, Andy Dalton's been in the league long enough that he needs to recognize that play will now not work.
Yeah.
You must adjust. That's the musical chairs of football. and he just didn't get it. So basically, the layman fans looking at that and just thinks, well, they got stuffed on a run play. Well, no, it's up to the quarterback to fucking call the fucking audible, and he didn't fucking do it, you know?
Okay, I was a couple days away. I'm excited. I'm nervous with these new rules. It's another way for bad beats to occur.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's nothing. The league is bulletproof because Sundays at 1:00 unites everybody, and it doesn't matter what fucked up shit is happening on the field, off the field.
I said last night, we went over the thing about how, remember we used to joke about it. Told everyone, I said, Roger Goodell could knock on your door and punch you in the face. You're still watching the game Sunday. Like, he could piss on your fucking car. Like, really?
Literally, like Trump said, like, I could shoot someone
here, and I'd be like, yeah, fucking Goodell, but I'm still betting on the NFL this Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you said that to me last year. He could come over before the Charger game, like, literally vandalize.
That's what I told you.
Yeah. Okay, but once he leaves, like, I'm putting the Chargers game, I'm putting the game on.
Like, fuck, I hate Roger Goodell. Fuck it, let's go Chargers. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they can physically assault you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't know. It's amazing. I'm sure there's guys who's gone to the club, Jeff, with their girl. Their girl ends up, like, sucking the dick of a Pittsburgh Steeler player in a bathroom, and Buddy probably still loves the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it would take for people not to like it.
But that's sort of the point. They bring up all these things. It's like the pain of you being a bit like you've stuck through the Bills through so much worse than like this hyperbole off-field bullshit, which you agree is so stupid and annoying, but it's certainly not going to stop you from Sunday at 1:00. Like, so
no, you got to remember it's just a game.
Yeah.
The last time I got really emotional was after the Raptors in Game 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Where, you know, like, I'm very jaded and shit, but I generally love that.
I remember.
It was just pain. You know what I mean? It was just like they quit. It was just fuck, man. Like, I remember leaving the game, and I wasn't the only one. Like, even cops were mad. Fuck. Like I fucking, like, pushed over a fucking, like, I was, like, hitting things on the way out of the arena and shit. And normally the cops would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The cops fucking just looked at me and were like, yeah. A cop even said, I'm fucking disgusted. Like, you know, like a cop even was like, that was disgusting. I was like, yeah, fuck out of here. Like, it was one of those just like, that's it moments. Like, that's it. You know, they had that moment in Buffalo the night we were there against the Cowboy game.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're finally going to win, man. It's Monday Night Football. They're going to beat Tony Romo and the Cowboys. It's like, I just remember after the game hearing people, we're just losers, man. It was just like that negative, like fucking suicide in the air shit. Like, I've never been in a more depressed town after that. Like, I've been in depressed sporting environments. Like, people in Toronto are pissed, but you're going into this metropolitan city after, and it's like, wow, whatever, that's it. Like, Buffalo, it's different. Like, fucking, that's all they have, man. You know what I mean? Like, just that feeling in the parking lot after that game was just, you know, it's just like, wow, they're never going to win. Fuck. You know, you get that. And you know the feeling. The Chargers are right there. Fuck.
Yeah, always, forever and always. Never going to win.
Right,
never going to win.
Next week, major time. Thanks for the time, buddy.
Always. Later, Gabe.
Jeff, we could have went on and on. Yeah, what's that movie with, what's it called? The Fan, fuck, with the Patton Oswalt guy. He's a New York Giant fan, fuck. He gets assaulted. He gets assaulted by a guy in the New York Giants. Which is, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie. I'm sure a few of you have. It's fucking gold, that movie. It's very realistic from like a football fan standpoint. But it's depressing. It basically highlights like people's loserdom and how much they care about NFL football teams. So this guy's life, that's all he gives a shit about is the New York Giants. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I think he lives at home. He's kind of a fucking loser and shit. And fucking, It's just New York Giants, and like New York Giants. It's all he gives a shit about. And he goes to a strip club, and it's sort of like a Lawrence Taylor character, right? It's pretty well done though. Fuck, like Scotty Farrell was the radio show host he used to call and shit. It was well done, and he goes to a strip club and he fucking tries to meet the guy, like he tries to be cool. I'm your biggest fan, and shit turns nasty fast, and the guy beats the shit out of him. The star linebacker beats the shit out of him and gets suspended. So the team he loves so much, the fucking guy, star player, gets suspended, and it like ruins their season because of him. It's a fucked up movie, man. But he still loves them after. That was the whole point. There's a great, I won't give away the whole thing. The fucking last scene in the movie's gold. Fuck. Like, it's like, fuck, the guy didn't learn anything. Like, yeah, the last scene in the movie's fucking gold. Johnny, the movie's called The Fan. And it's funny because there was another sports movie called The Fan, right, with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. That's a very good movie, too. That movie's great, too. That movie, you ever seen that movie with Wesley Snipes? That one's big fan. All right. That's great. Robert De Niro is like a fucking stalker, fuck. Like Robert De Niro is obsessed with the San Francisco Giants, and he's obsessed with like this fucking like Barry Bonds character that's really Wesley Snipes. And Wesley Snipes meets him, fuck, all right? But Wesley Snipes doesn't know that he's a fan. Like, buddy, Robert De Niro pretends he doesn't know who he is, but Robert De Niro's like stalking the guy. The guy lives on this like beach fucking property. Robert De Niro's on the beach like with binoculars, like stalking the guy. And fucking, so the guy's on the beach and he meets Robert De Niro, and De Niro's all like dumb and goes, oh, you know, what do you do? I don't know, who are you? And he goes, I'm a baseball player. And he goes, oh, really? I didn't know that. He goes, oh, I'm kind of, you know, a casual fan. And Wesley Snipes looks at him. He goes, good, because there's a lot of fucked up people out there, man, that are deranged and take this shit way too seriously. I'm glad you're not some fucked up fan. And De Niro just starts burning. Fuck. Because De Niro thinks that, like, all players hate the fans. So De Niro's like, fucking fucked up fan, huh? Like, fuck, man, I'm going to get this guy. Yeah, that's a great... that's a great one, too. I recommend them both. Which one is which, though? Okay, Big Fan. Big Fan is the one about the Giant fan. Patton Oswalt is a parking garage employee who is a huge fan of the New York Giants. He lives at home with his mother and spends much of his free time extolling the virtues of his favorite football team on sports radio. So he basically like lives with his mom. He works in a fucking garage, but he goes home and he calls like fucking Scotty Farrell every night about the Giants. One night, Paul and his best friend went to Paul and his best friend saw star Giant linebacker Quantrell Bishop in their neighborhood. They followed him and went to a strip club. Paul decides to approach his idol, but the encounter goes very badly. Oh, that's fucking good. Fuck. That's a really good movie.
Hello? It's $5. Have fun in your box.
I can't tell you how sick I am. I can't tell you how sick I am.
Look at my boy Paul instead.
Staten Island, he always brings the leverage. Hey, sports talk. I can't tell you how sick I am of all these bozos. Montreal Bishop was in your face all day long. Getting a receipt. You mind? Yes, I do. Go to bed, Mom. Right there. Montreal Bishop. God, I wish I brought a Sharpie. What's he gonna sign? Who cares? Let's go. We really wanted to just meet you, Mr. Bishop. You came all the way from Staten Island. You following us up? No, we can talk, man. How long have I been here? 3 days. What was the score? How do you get a concussion when you got no...
He's in the hospital. What was the score? Yeah, it's a good point, HTC. They're both about the Giants. Very good movie. Although, if you really want to see a good sports movie, you need to see Good Cop, Bad Cop, in which NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman gets kidnapped and put in the trunk of a car. That's a good movie. Now, that's comedy. Now, that's comedy. What's this? Pizza? 2 pizzas, $8.99? Oh, okay. 2 topping medium pizza, $8.99. It actually looked pretty good. Goodfellas is actually on TV right now. Those sports movies are pretty bad, to be honest. Look at this. They got a dog kicking it on with the groundskeeper crew here. I don't know, man. I get a feeling like the dog's going to fall off the tractor and get run over and shit. How do you not like that? Look at that in Oakland. They got a dog fucking... The dog's just like kicking it with the dude here. That's some good stuff. It is dog. Like, if you don't like this, then, you know, leave the room. I just want to watch. That's better than the game. I just want to see that dog like all day now. I just want to see that dog going in circles around the diamond, sitting in a fucking crate. Like, basically, like the groundskeeper dude's got like a tractor, like, you know, and he evens out the dirt after each inning. He comes out in a tractor. The dog's like there's a dog in a basket just kicking it. Like, the dog's not doing anything. He's just sitting there. Fuck. No, I was going to say slap shot. I was going to say slap shot. All right, home run Toronto Blue Jays. It is now 5-2 in the 4th inning. 5-2 for Oakland in the 4th inning. Yeah, we don't play 7 dust now. We don't have the rights. I prefer Bad News Bears to Major League. Field of Dreams is great. It's a serious, you know, it's a serious who's the best quarterback and movie quarterback? Willie Beeman. Fuck. Come on, man. Willie B. Willie Beeman. White Man Can't Jump. That's a sports movie too, I would say. You know, that's a great one. That's one of the best ones. I was in a store in New York at Modell's in New York in Manhattan. They actually have Willie Beeman jersey. I was gonna get it, but I got the Michigan one. The store they actually had, there's like a series of like movie character football jerseys. There's like the Waterboy one, Willie Beeman. The Beeman one's pretty cool because it's black and shit, right? It's got the sharks on it and shit. Any Given Sunday's a pretty good movie. But yeah, Bobbert, Kingpin's awesome. Kingpin's a great movie. White Man Can't Jump, though's the best. White Man Can't Jump is a good combination of Bass Street Ball and gambling. There's like a lot of gambling stories and bad beats and crushing stories in that movie, White Man Can't Jump. And then, of course, we cannot forget. Stupid fucking hair in my nose pissing me off, man. We cannot forget about arguably the greatest, probably the best soccer movie ever made. Ladybug, with Jack A. and Rodney Dangerfield. Now that's entertainment. Is poker a sport? No. Poker is not a sport. Yeah, Raging Bull. That's some classic stuff, Taylor Stevens. You never heard of it, Ladybug? I told the story here, so I had surgery years ago, all right? I got my gallbladder taken out. And when I got out of the hospital, I had like, you know, they cut your stomach open at like 3 places and shit. So they told me, listen, you can't fucking cough and you can't laugh. If you do, it's going to be incredibly painful and you're going to split your stomach open and you're going to bleed and you're going to have to come back here. So they were very adamant about this. They said, you can't laugh. So they were like, don't watch anything funny. And they said, don't cough if you can. So, of course, the first thing I do when I get out of the hospital, somebody picks me up. They got a big fat joint of hash. I start coughing. I'm like, oh, my God, it's painful. So later that night, all right, I'm watching fucking TV. And I was at my mother's house because I was all fucked up getting out of the hospital and shit. So I went to my mother's house and I was watching TV. And like, you know, Jay Leno and David Letterman and all that shit came on. And she goes, oh, you can't watch this. You're going to laugh. And I told her I won't laugh. Like, they're not funny enough to make me laugh. Don't worry. I won't laugh. So I didn't laugh. I'm watching fucking Jay Leno and shit. I'm not laughing. You know what I mean? There's no, you know, so there's no laugh out loud. There's no problems and shit. But I'm flicking around, man. And I fucking stumbled upon the movie Ladybugs, And fuck, man. I was in pain, I couldn't stop laughing. And also I was smoking, so I was coughing and laughing.
All those beautiful people in this neighborhood. Hey, let's beautify the neighborhood. If you don't do that, stay indoors.
To get ahead in business. Good luck.
Thanks. Oh, and I'm glad you gave me the right finger.
Sometimes you have to play ball.
Chester, my company sponsors a girls' soccer team.
I'm coaching the Ladybugs. It sort of goes with a promotion, you know.
It's a big office right next to mine, just waiting for a guy like you.
How do you know my soccer? You kick the ball down the field into the net. Try and control the ball. Forget the ball. Try and stay on your feet. Oh, I'm off to a great start.
What he doesn't know,
Win the game, win the game, win the game.
could get him fired.
Get the book, get the book, get the book.
I can't do it.
Hey, what are you, a fish?
What he's willing to try, what could get him arrested.
No, you're crazy, Chester. It'll never happen. Chester put a boy on a girls' soccer team. How?
Don't worry, Martha. Give her a big ladybug reception, all right? After the game, no showers.
There was just a joke. There was just a joke here in this Ladybugs trailer that would not be fucking acceptable now. So look, basically, you hear from the promo. So Ronnie Dangerfield coaches a fucking youth girls soccer team, but he wants to win so badly, so he gets a fucking teenage boy and he dresses him up as a girl to be on the team. Now, here's a scene where Ronnie Dangerfield takes the kid to a clothes store to get a dress for him, and he steps in to the fucking changing room with the kid.
After the game, no ladybug Martha. Give her a... Don't worry, if it's too tight, you'll get used to it.
Don't worry, if it's too tight, you'll get used to it. I'm starting to think in today's day and age, you're not getting away with that. I tell you, I get no respect. Geez, no respect at all. Listen, I'm not saying it's a stupid movie. It's Jack A. Jack A's nice though. She got a big rack too. Remember Jack A from Give Me a Break? Listen, I'm dead serious. I can't believe they pulled this joke here. Like they actually said this.
Chester put a boy on a girl's soccer team.
Don't worry, if it's too tight, you'll get used to it.
That's who fucking wrote that line? Woody Allen fucking? Man, there's all these Jays fans that fucking travel with the Jays and shit. It's like, I don't know why you guys do this. The team's terrible. Like, you guys are very loyal. There's a guy with Expos hat on at the game. Damn right, represent, baby. I'm telling you, I saw it the other night. I was watching the game too, not a Blue Jay game. There's a guy with Expo. Yeah, you got Weinstein. Yeah, traveling to Oakland. Yeah, Slapshot's classic. We've already been over this. Slapshot was basically created fucking due to a fight that my uncle was in. We've been down this road before. We could play the brawl again, but we've heard it. We'll save it for another time. Although it was damn good. Bill Butters. What was the name? Bill Butters and fucking, it was just great. Everyone, fucking Carducci. What was the other guy? Bill Butters just sucker punched him. Here comes Carducci. Every guy like either had like an Italian last name or just like, oh yeah, my guy Brackenberry. Brackenberry and Carducci are going at it. Fucking, oh, here's Bill Butters. To me, this is one of the best pieces of play-by-play ever. Really, it's just too fucking good.
Jack Ferrera and I talked about Bill Butters, a conspicuous absentee in period number 1. But the first shift, he's out there drawing a minor penalty. Larry throwing some punches at Larry Plow. Larry Plow went after him, too, and that gives you some idea. If you're a regular follower of the Whalers. Well, now Brackenberry and Selwood want to go, and here they go. Brackenberry and Selwood. Brackenberry gets 2 right.
That was it, Selwood. That's it. My uncle's Brackenberry in this. Brackenberry, that was right. Brackenberry and Selwood got it all started, Frank.
And Selwood want to go, and here they go. Brackenberry and Selwood. Brackenberry gets 2 right hands. Selwood wrestling him now. 15 feet inside the line. Here's Butters, sneaks a shot on Plow. Bill Butters, from behind. That's all. Here comes the Lee. We've got a wild brawl here now. Lee is in on Butters. McCartan kicks up.
Oh, McCartan.
We've got a wild brawl here at the Civic Center. Both benches emptied. Al Smith involved. Players fighting everywhere inside the Saints zone. Everyone paired off for Tio now in Carlson. 2 players wrestling down here. It looks like Hank Slavin, Bob. I'll tell you, that's one of the most ungentlemanly, sneaky, just plain rotten things I've ever seen. Butters came from behind.
Butters
came up behind Plow and cold-cocked him from behind. Smith and Garrett are at it. Hank Slavin has somebody down Landon, and Slavin's hurt, Bill. They're calling for the trainer. And now Gambucci and Hurley, who are wrestling in center, come up. And now it's Smith and Garrett fighting. Wild scene here at the Civic Center as players in sticks and gloves all over the ice. The irony of the situation is Selwood and Brackenberry, who started it all, are now kind of just hugging each other at center ice, dancing around. But you're right, Bill, the despicable act by Bill Butters, sucker punching Larry Plow. And now, here we go. We still got Smith and Garrett involved with Busnick and Ricky Lee, and Landon's out there with McCartan. And here we go again. Smith and Garrett. But Garrett hasn't taken off his mask. And now Nick and Carlson come together. And now Nick wants Carlson. That's obvious. This may be the main event. He was just holding 2 Saints, 1 in each hand. Oh, Carlson just cold-cocked Nick. Nick comes right back at him. Here they go. Portillo and Carlson. Look at them slugging each other. And down here in the far right hand, Brackenberry and Selwood still having some comments, still taking some swings. It looks like Saturday night at Roseland in New York. Everybody's paired off. All the good guys in white and the other ones are in blue. And linesmen, now Frenchie and Hampson are going at it. Selwood and Brackenberry. Bob, you watch the left-hand boards, I'll watch the right, and we'll just kind of override each other. How about that? Well, now Butters and Swain are going at it in front. Smith now flailing away at Garrett. Right hands by Al Smith on John Garrett. Carlson and Portillo are separated. Nick, his face is bloody. We've got a wild scene here in Hartford. And the irony of it all, look at the 2 trainers, Joe Altott and Glenn Gostick, just calmly chirping at the line. Selwood and Brackenberry finally get rid of each other. We've got cups and Nick is cut. He's gone right to the box after Carlson.
This is the best. They fight the bench.
The linesman off, gets spun around, and now both linesmen are in front of Portillo. He's going into the visitor's box if he can get there, Bob. Well, affable Bill Henderson, the Oilers director of minor officials, must be counting his breath down there because he's got Carlson in there and an angry Portillo and a cut Portillo, winding up Mr. Carlson. But as we suspected, Glass Spell let this get out of hand. It all started, and now Butters and Swain, and Smith wants a piece of Butters. Look at Al Smith against Bill Butters. He just rides him right out of the play, too. Smitty kills him. Smitty is really railing on Butters, and Butters takes another right hand. Now O'Donnell is into it. And Portillo comes up on Butters, and now Brackenberry and Swain go at it. They go into the Wells St. Penley bench. There's just mayhem out in the ice. Portillo racing it after Brackenberry, and now Carlson out of the penalty box. I've never seen a fight like this in 20 years. Right into the players' bench, in the Saints players' bench, there is a battle like you wouldn't believe. Portillo and Carlson are down on the floor on the players' bench, Bob. You've got to get up here to see it all. Well, we hope to send soon. Cooler head. And now fans throwing beer down there. I hope they don't get involved in that because then it really will get nasty. I don't know. Alan Glass Bell better get out his pencil. He is going to have his hands full, and there's still fights breaking out everywhere on the ice. I've never seen a scene like this, Bill, ever. I've seen many a nasty brawl, but never one as vicious and as long as this one.
And there's There's essentially the creation of Slapshot. The names were the best. Brackenberry, Selwood, Gambucci, Foligno. And then you had Smitty, Garrett. And then, of course, fucking the best name of them all, Bill Butters. And you know what the crazy thing is? After that fight, they all shared the same plane after. It was a playoff series. So they took the same plane. Like they were cheap. The owners were cheap. So they split the airfare. They split the plane. So after, just imagine that. These guys got into the nastiest, like most fucking, you heard them. That's the most ungentlemanly, meanest, nastiest things I've ever seen. Like, if you hear the play-by-play, it was basically just guys like sucker punching each other. He just cold-cocked him. He punched him in the back of the Butters, punched him in the back of the head. Like these guys basically just went fucking total, like fucking street style insanity in the longest hockey brawl in the history of the sport. It was like 24 minutes or something. That's only like 5 minutes of it. They don't have it all. There's no video of it. There's a few still pictures. The audio is all that exists of this, but it actually was like 18 to 20. I think it was 22 minutes or something, the fight. We just heard 5 minutes of it. Like it took 20, 25 minutes for everything to settle down finally. And then you put them all on the same fucking plane after. And one of the guys on the fucking say to fucking to Butters, he said, "You really look like shit." Fuck. He said that to Butters said that to Foligno. He said, "You really look like shit, on the plane." And everyone was like, "Oh fuck, oh boy. Oh no." Like they were like, "Oh shit, man. We thought we were gonna fucking fight on the plane again." But everyone was too beat up because everyone was just too beat up. Everyone just drank beer. That's great. No, they weren't laughing it off, Paulo. They didn't laugh it off. Like, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't like, oh, ha, ha, that was crazy. Like, no, there was bad blood. Like, they were pissed. You know what I mean? That's why, like, when Buddy said that, he tried to break the ice, but no one thought it was funny. Everyone was like, shut up, don't say anything, you know? They said, there's the story. If you look up the video, they actually did a special, and the players did interviews about it. And the guy says, he goes, everyone on the plane, he goes, it looked like a fucking MASH unit. Like, everyone on the plane just had, like, fucking black eyes and towels and fucking ice packs and, like, beer fucking... Oh yeah, it's great. Here it is.
Hours later, the Saints and the Whalers played to overtime in a game interrupted by a Donnybrook. The heavyweights were Jack Carlson and New England's enforcer, Nick Fotiu.
Before the game started, it was a big game. Nick came over to me and said, "Shake, you touch the puck tonight, I'm going to kill you." Jack skates over to him, said, "You touch him, I kill you." I turned to Harry and said, "This is great hockey, isn't it?"
In the first period, the Saints were outplayed.
Bill Butters, a conspicuous absentee in period number 1.
Harry wasn't playing us, so Glenn came down and he had a little meeting with Kurt Brackenberry, myself, Jack Carlson, and Harry Neal in a little cubby hole of a room. And Glenn said, "What do you think these guys are here for, Harry?"
They called Butters and myself and Kurt Brackenberry in and said, "Listen, we're going to start you guys and see if we can get this thing turned around. And if need be, if you need to get something going, do it."
Throwing some punches at Larry Plow.
So at the start of the second period, the puck drops. They don't worry about the puck. They drop their gloves and they start hammering.
Brackenberry gets 2 right hands. Selwood wrestling him now. 15 feet inside the line. Here's Butters, sneaks up, shot on Plow. Bill Butters from behind. That's all. Here comes Larry. Bring it along, girl. Here now.
And one of the things told to Bill was, if anybody looks at you, Bill, sucker.
The disgusting sucker punching Larry Plow. Bring it along, girl. Here now. And now Nick and Carlson come together.
So I got paired up with their tough guy. His name is Nick Fotiu, who was the New York State boxing champion.
Here they go. Fotiu and Carlson. Johnson.
You could hear the knuckles hitting their faces. It was unbelievable. And one each said to the other, "Are you finished? Had enough? Yes, yes." And when Nick dropped his gloves, dropped his hands, he Jack suckered him. He went right down like a big timber.
Oh, Carlos had just called back Nick.
We went at it pretty good for about 10 or 15 minutes.
I've never seen a scene like this, Bill, ever. I've seen many a nasty brawl, but never one as vicious and as long as this one.
They boarded the same charter with us, returning to St. Paul, and we were already on the plane, and then the Hartford team came on after us. You know, they're coming by, and we're looking at the guys, and now Nick comes in, and his face is pretty messed up. And Chase Walton says, "Looking good, Nicky." Well, I thought the other ball was going to start out in the plane, but we kind of won that series on that airplane. I think we won that series.
What a great story. What a great story, fuck. I'm very proud of the fact that my uncle was the one that started it all, too. I like what he goes. He said, Buddy goes up to him. He goes, I just want to let you know, if you touch the puck tonight, I'm going to fucking kill you. Buddy goes up to him and goes, if you fucking touch him, if you fucking try to kill him, I'm going to fucking kill you. And then Buddy looks over. He goes, this is great hockey, isn't it? Marco Polo. What's up, Marco Polo? Marco Polo. All right, so, yeah, we can't be here all night. We got an early morning here. That game was played in Hartford, Dog Willie, in Hartford. When you hear, like, there's a lot of familiar names there. Like, when you hear Garrett and Smith, that's John Garrett, the goalie. Fucking Cheech, John Garrett, you know, the Canucks guy, Sportsnet, John Garrett. He was the goalie fighting. Larry Plow was in the fight. He got sucker punched. He's the general manager of the fucking Blues, or he was. He's a longtime GM of many teams, whatever. You heard Harry Neal was there. Harry Neal was the coach. Fucking, you go down the list, like, there's a lot of famous names in that game that went on in the NHL. All right, so Bob Probert's the best fighter of all time. Bob Probert. All right, so something I did want to get to here, guys. We talked about a little bit about the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Just quickly blast through it. Los Angeles Dodgers get Brian Dozier. You know, Brian Dozier's hit more home runs than any other second baseman in the last 5 years by like 38 or more home runs. Guys hit 143 home runs, so Dodgers aren't fucking around. There's really no excuses for the Dodgers. You know, the Dodgers have good pitching. They're stacked offensively. There's no excuse. Like, management's done everything possible they can do. It's up to the players to fucking get it done. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Wow. How about the Pittsburgh Pirates surprising everybody and bringing in Chris Archer? Nobody saw that coming. Another deal that I was very impressed with today, actually, and the mainstreamers are not going to talk about it all that much, but is Wilson Ramos. Wilson Ramos was traded from Tampa Bay to the Philadelphia Phillies, and Wilson Ramos is a good catcher. And he's a big upgrade on what the Phillies have at the catcher position. He hits like fucking 50 points higher than their catching do. He's got more home runs, more RBIs. You know what I mean? He's just better. So, like, the Philadelphia Phillies, there was a nice addition. The Phillies are already a nice, young, aggressive team, but getting Wilson Ramos was a nice under-the-radar move. Chris Archer really puts the Pirates in play here, though. The biggest trade of the day was Chris Archer. That was the surprise, that the Pittsburgh Pirates were the ones to get Chris Archer. Now, speaking of fighting, speaking of fighting, it appears as if though that Conor McGregor is going to be back to fighting in the UFC sooner rather than later. This comes from Conor McGregor himself. I think Conor, you know, from what I saw from Conor, I think that the little, I think that the bender is over. I think he went on a crazy-ass bender after the Floyd shit. You know, he made fucking $40 million. Well, $100 million, but you know what I mean? After tax and shit. He made a shitload of money. And he went on a bender. He didn't fight. He hasn't fought since. He partied his ass off. He got stupid. He threw the fucking dolly through the window. I think it really was a wake-up call for him. I really do. I think him being in court, you know, I think he was genuinely embarrassed that he had to show up in court the other day again. And, you know, if you see the video he did today, and he did the interview with TMZ Sports on the street, was, you know, he goes, man, New York's pretty cool when you actually get to see it and know what you're doing. Like, he was basically admitting that I'm always fucked up when I'm here, and I was in jail last time. And, and you could just tell. You know, as somebody that's partied a lot of my life, I can tell when people are wired and shit, right? Conor McGregor's been all coked up and boozed up and shit, but from what I saw today, he looked pretty straight and real. And, you know, he basically stated, you know, he was pressed at first and he ignored it. One girl went up to him, was pretty good, actually. She really tried to bait him. She said, Khabib says he's going to smash your face. What do you have to say? And Conor just sort of gave her a look. He didn't say anything. And Conor went jogging. But people followed him and shit, and they waited. They knew what hotel he was at. So they basically just waited outside the hotel, and he came back. And then he just fucking started answering questions for real. And he basically stated, yeah, I'm very close to fighting Khabib. The contract's, it's not 100% done, but it's done. He said there'll be an announcement soon. And somebody asked, is it right? Is it here in New York? And he said, no, it's Las Vegas. So at least you hear it from him, you know. Look, he hasn't fought in the UFC once September arrives in 2 fucking years, guys. All right. So I think now it's not, you know, he wants to grace us. He brought up about how he's the only real 2-time champion and shit. He mentioned about how he doesn't acknowledge the other new champs or whatever. So it goes to show that he's sort of getting back into that competition mode. Because in the last year before, he's like, I don't give a shit, fuck. I just made $100 million. So, you know, from what I can tell, at least, it looks like he's getting serious. And listen, word was that it was going to be October 6th. I personally don't think it'll be October 6th. That's what some people are reporting, but no one really concrete. That's just rumors because there's a Vegas card October 6th, and they know it's not going to be in New York because Conor said it's not in New York. He said, I'd love to fight in New York, but he even said, he goes, but, you know, like, dude, he just fucking got arrested here. Like, it wouldn't be easy to get a license for him to fight right away. They could do it, but anyways, Vegas is a more neutral place. So, yeah, Brackenberry's still alive. Yes, Dog Willie. So, there's a rumor October, but it wouldn't be October because they're going to want to milk this, right? They're not going to just bang this off quickly in 2 months. They would have, well, they would have August and September to promote it. The thing is, the UFC ownership could be getting antsy, right? And they might think, nah, we can't fucking do this on fucking New Year's Eve. Something will happen between now and then, right? With Khabib. And that's another thing, too. There's a big danger about this. It's not like Khabib's got a great track record of showing up for every fight. You know, there's been instances, a couple of instances where he hasn't. And I know the UFC's concerned about this, that they're going to fucking, and to Conor's credit, I've talked critical of Conor before, but Conor has raised a good point about that before. Conor's like, I'm supposed to train and promote a fucking fight for a guy that always pulls out. He goes, I don't know. Right? So I can sort of see his point. And would anyone be shocked? You never know. Like Khabib, you never know till he's in the cage that he's going to fight, right? So it's a risk. So if you say to yourself, well, you know what? We'll fucking put this in our back pocket. We'll do this on New Year's Eve. And you're gambling, fuck. That he doesn't get hurt training, that something doesn't happen. You're gambling. You're almost better off just saying, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck. We're going to sell a shitload of fights anyways. You know, Floyd and fucking the Floyd and Connor surprised me with that. They announced it in like June and boom, it was in August. They did their little promo tour. They banged it off. The UFC doesn't need 6 months to promote this. And too many bad things can happen in between now and then. Like if I'm the UFC ownership group that just shelled out $4 billion, I'm telling them, we're not waiting, fuck. You know, and get the fucking deal done. Announce it next week. We'll have fucking 2 months to promote it. So Scott says that his lawyer tweeted out a picture, right? Yeah. Like I said, October the 6th is the date that people are talking about. You know, you can't wait. That's the thing. It would make sense. In a perfect world, it would make sense to do it later. In a perfect world, it makes sense to say, all right, fuck. It's already August. We'll be into September. We'll start promoting the fight and shit. But the UFC doesn't promote fights that far in advance. And mixed martial arts is like the drug industry, fuck. You know what I mean? Like shit changes on a daily basis. It's like a cartel planning like for something 2 years in advance. You know, they got to worry about not getting shot today. And the UFC is going to think, you know what? We got Connor kind of sober here. He wants to fight. Let's just get this fucking deal done. And it doesn't matter, fuck. You know, we'll get Connor back in rotation. And once he's got a little juice for the money back and shit, he'll want to fight again. You can do Connor in October, and hypothetically, you can do Connor again in fucking January, New Year's Eve, if you really want it. You know, October 6th, November 6th, December 6th to fucking, you know what I mean? It's 3 months, man. Like Conor McGregor could totally fight October the 6th and then New Year's Eve again. I wouldn't even be surprised if he would want to do that. That he would say, yeah, let's do this, fuck. Because he's going to make probably about $15, $20 million a fight. You know, if he made like 15 last time and shit in the UFC, and if Diaz got 10 million for that second fight, fuck, you know, what do you think fucking he's getting this time? He's going to be in the 20 million range, 25 million range. Conor McGregor, and that's another thing, Conor McGregor held out long enough that they are desperate, so they're going to have to meet his demand. No, exactly, Joey Medina. Exactly. That's the thing, Joey, that, all right, yeah, you made all that money, bro, but that was last year. You've blown a lot of money. You've got like 15 lawsuits pending. You know what I mean? I don't know how many kids he really has. You know, there's rumors that there's 2 or 3 of them out there. So, you know, the money goes. It's time now. Like, you haven't fought a UFC in 2 years. If I was Conor McGregor, and he doesn't need my advice, fucking, you know what I'm saying? But if I was advising him, I wouldn't have waited this long. Yeah, I would have struck when the iron is hot. I would have fought in Paulie Malignaggi right after. I would have made another 30 million or so. You know, he would have gotten about half to fight Malignaggi than the Floyd shit, but there was still 25, 30 million on the table for him, right? It's more than the UFC. So if I was him, I would have done that right away after and then come back to the UFC. But the fact of the matter is there's drug testing and shit like that. And he wasn't in condition to fight. I mean, the guy went on a serious fucking party fucking bender, man. You know? He made Ovi's just drinking beer. Like, Conor went pretty fucking hard. You know, Conor pissed off Irish mobsters, had his life threatened, fucking allegedly cheated on his wife, pictures with him with that fucking pop singer. There's, you know, stories about how fucking there's a couple other kids out there and lawsuits, this and that, and fucking videotapes and extortion. Like, the guy had quite a fucking year. You know what I'm saying? He had quite a year. And none of it was anything to do with fighting. So I think finally, like I said, I think he's finally, like I said, when I see him in the video today, he looked very, very in shape and alert. And he basically was like, oh, I can't wait to come back. I'm ready. Because I think he's like, yeah, I want to fucking make some money, fuck, you know? And that's another thing, too. You're right. The Fertitta sort of screwed fucking not screwed them, but it was sort of the bait and switch, Ty Rich. It was the bait and switch in the sense that Conor McGregor fought like 3 times in a fucking year for the UFC. Or he fought 3 times in 14 months, I think it was, whatever. And they actually sold like $700 million in pay-per-views. So Conor McGregor's appearances in pay-per-views was definitely boosting up the overall sort of mystique of the UFC's numbers. And the second these motherfuckers put $4 billion on the table, they put $4 million on the table, there's no Conor. Right? Now, the thing is, they did get a big chunk out of that with fucking Floyd. Like, remember, Floyd basically told them, fucking, look, here's $100 million. I don't care how you guys split it. Like, basically, Conor was like, you know, was owned. Conor didn't negotiate. Fuck. Dana White negotiated. Right? Dana White and Conor McGregor split the money. Now, Conor got a little more, I believe. Now, there was disputes about how much, what the ratio was, the split was. From what, you know, I don't know. You never really know. George St. Pierre was saying that Conor only got like 35% or 40% of it, which was $40 million. And the UFC got $60 million. I've heard other people dispute that and state that it was basically like a split. That Conor actually got closer to 60 and the UFC got in the 40 range. So the UFC did get an influx of cash for $40 million once, essentially, or whatever it turned out to be. You know what I mean? For them to let Conor do it. So they made money. It's not like it's not like Conor was just fighting. He's under contract to them. Like, you know, they had to get a piece of it. I see their point of view. We just spent $4 billion and now you're going to go fight in another fucking competition against us and we're not going to make any money off of this, as if. So I can see where they went with that, right? What's up, big man? That's a good point. Well, recreational drugs, I know. It's strange with their cocaine test, eh? So as I stated, yeah, we can't go on all night here tonight, guys. We're going to be on, we're going to be on the round table, big man. You're on in the morning, huh? Yeah, actually, I just see your tweet here. See, I will speak in the morning. We'll speak in the morning. We'll do something tomorrow night, big man, because tomorrow night will be MLS All-Star game night, right? It'll be MLS All-Star game. You know what I think we're going to have to do tomorrow night? We're going to have to push Bobano back tomorrow night. We can't have Bobano on while we're fucking coming on hot at 10 o'clock in the All-Star game. What time's the All-Star game? Is it at 8? If it's at 8, it'll be over by 10, actually. It's not true. Yeah, it'll be over, actually. Let's see, MLS. I assume it's probably 8 Eastern, right? 7:30 Eastern. Wow. Yeah, so it'll be way over. For the record, MLS Homegrown and the Tigres under 20 from the MX League draw 1-1 tonight. That was the final. Good thing I didn't bet it because I thought there'd be more goals. So Kyle Johnson, who was in the chat, actually found a line for this shit tomorrow night, I believe. And it was Juventus minus 125. Yeah. Babano's a soccer buzzkill. No, we're not bumping Babano, but I'm just saying, Scott, if I'm sweating out a soccer game, I don't want to hear Babano come on telling me about how soccer sucks. I need to have who on the show? Fuck. Where can we catch Roundtable? On the SBR YouTube page tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. As we talk about 99 subjects. On SBR, Ken. Right on the same page, on the YouTube page, same page. MLS All-Stars ready for Juventus. Mercedes-Benz will be the epicenter of the soccer universe Wednesday night when the MLS All-Stars line up to play one of Europe's most decorated squads in Juventus, the reigning Serie A and Coppa Italia champions. Actually, you know what, Big Man? If you want to do a quick preview right now, if you want to hop on, we'll blast through this. We can get an update of Big Man's workout with his trainer today. Because the game's at 7:30. I was hoping it was later, that we would be on during the game, but no. No. MLS are underdogs. And the fact that the MLS are underdogs, yeah, I already kind of liked MLS here. It's not Juventus. It's not like Juventus are on fire on this tour, and all their good players. A lot of their good players aren't here. All right, there's plenty of familiar names for Juventus: Sami Khedira, Giorgio Chiellini, Claudio Marchisio, Emre Can. Former Juventus forward Sebastian Giovinco represents TFC. Joseph Martinez has scored 24 fucking goals in the first 23 games this year. 3 goals shy of the regular season record for goals set by Bradley Wright Phillips. Yeah, so we got Joseph Martinez on the team. Mexican international Carlos Vela from LAFC was voted captain of the MLS All-Star team. Joined Giovinco. Darwin Quintero of Minnesota United is the other forwards on the team. They're fucking stacked up front. Also playmakers and many additional scoring threats in the midfield led by Atlanta's own Miguel Almiron and Ezequiel Barco. Newly signed Bayern Munich phenom, my boy Alfonso Davies. Diego Valerie. We can go on. And it's in Atlanta. There's going to be like 70,000 people here. Big Man on campus. We got, what's up, Big Man?
What's good, Gabe?
How you feeling after the workout today?
I feel very good. I feel great. I feel like $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
It was good to work out, man. I haven't done that in a while, so it was good. Trainer's tough. You work to be hard. It was fun. I had a good time, actually.
So what did it have you doing?
Wow. All sorts of shit. It was my legs first. So I was doing lifts and running and pushing shit and all sorts of stuff.
That's good. If he makes it fun, that's the shit. It's like football practice. They got to make it fun.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we had like the music blasting, and he's not much older than me, so it's perfect.
Good. So what you said it's a couple of times a week. When are you back at it?
Thursday, Friday, I'm back.
All right, good shit.
Yeah, so it worked out. I'm like in MLS tomorrow night, all over them.
Yeah, so that's what I was just saying. So, yeah, we all wish Big Man the best of luck with this. Trainer was a bit handsy. Do you pay extra for that, Big Man? Settle out, Bobber.
No, I was just being nice. You know, he's a super nice guy. No, he was handsy. What does that even mean? He touched me. Yeah, right. It's my man. He's cool. You know, just being nice. You know, Gabe, you got to see this motherfucker that they have there. This other trainer. Fucking Christ. This dude, Gabe's like 6'8", 320, and he's stacked muscle. Like,
So
amazing.
You go down to their gym? Is that how it works? They have a
they have their own gym. Yep. And it's like, two guys, and I pay a monthly, but yeah, it's cool, man. But no, I did not pay extra for him to be handsy. No.
I really fucked up too. Because right in my neighborhood, there's like this really hipster gym.
Yeah.
Smoking hot chicks. And all in like yoga pants and shit. And I know he goes there like on TV. And he goes, "Oh, you should come just check it out sometime." And he goes, it's casual. It's cool. And same shit. It's one of those things. They crank the music. It's more like they're all fucking
it was
weights and shit like that. But I see them coming out of the gym all the time, all fucking buddies with all these hot chicks.
I mean, it was kind of like, though, but I put the phone down for a minute. I didn't worry about anything. I just, it hurt. It sucked. I was tired and that kind of thing, but I felt good after it,
Yeah, you just battle through it.
Exactly.
So I see you here saying on Twitter you don't like the Chris Archer. I think it was a good move, the Pittsburgh Pirates getting Chris Archer.
Well, I don't think it was a bad move getting Chris Archer, but you gave up too much to get Chris Archer. That's a big haul to give out for Chris Archer. I mean, that's a haul you give for Blake Snell. Chris Archer's got a 4.3 ERA.
Yeah, but Chris Archer, if you look at Chris Archer's numbers in the American League East, and you look at Chris Archer's numbers against everyone else, and it's a massive difference. And Chris Archer is under contract for another 2-3 years, basically.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. I think that was
a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the selling point for them.
Look at this: Chris Archer versus the American League East in his career, 4.02 earned run average versus everyone else in Major League Baseball, 3.40. His WHIP versus the AL East, 1.28. His WHIP against everyone else, 1.18. Strikeouts per 9 innings, 9.3 against the American League East, 10. The National League will be easier to pitch in. He'll be out of this killer fucking division. This motherfucker's had to pitch against the Red Sox and the fucking Yankees fucking like for the last fucking 4 years.
No, listen, you make a good point. I mean, the only concern I have with them is, I don't know, like, are the Pirates really like even in it? Like, they're 4 games out, I think. I mean, the lineup's not been, I guess it's been okay, but you're going to have to pitch against the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals. Listen, I hope it works out for Pittsburgh. I mean, their fans deserve a winning product, but I think him being under contract for 2 years is obviously the big selling point there.
The problem for Pittsburgh is, listen, I think it's great in the sense that it's like Cam brought up today. It's nice to see some teams besides just sort of the Yankees and the Dodgers get players, right, all the time.
Sure.
So it's nice for the fans of Pittsburgh and the Pirate organization. But I wonder if the Pirates are like fucking, 16-3 in their last 19 games or whatever, and they played themselves back in a contention, can they continue to play at that rate, right? Like, even if you get Chris Archer, like, you're not going to win 16 out of 20 games, like in the next 16 out of 20 again. But listen, the Pirates have that nice new stadium, big man. They let they've let the guys go. They let Garrett Cole go. They let McCutcheon go. You talk about Snell, like, you get these guys. Pittsburgh have been, the Pirate fans are getting sick of it. So finally, it's sort of it reminds me of like when the Expos got Bartolo Colon, actually, back in 2002, which no one saw it really coming, but it didn't put the Expos over the top. I should know in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Meadows, I wouldn't have included. That would have been. I thought that was pretty surprising. I mean, he's a really good young player. I mean, that's a lot to give up for Chris Archer, who, maybe a change of scenery would be good for him. Obviously, going to the NL.
Archer's one of the best young arms in the game, man. Like teams, dude. There were a lot of teams that wanted Chris Archer.
But my problem, Gabe, with Chris Archer is
that's why they got what they did. That's why the Pirates gave up, because there were good packages being offered. Chris Archer's under contract for 2 years, and he makes like people dream of that shit.
Because to me, you know what he reminds me of? Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman had a good year or two, and he just hit a fucking wall, and he's never been the same pitcher.
No, I think Archer's on another level than Stroman.
So it's just a half a year he's not been good. That's possible. I mean,
yeah, I think it was an injury. I think it's a division. I just think it was circumstances. Like I said, his numbers speak for themselves. He's an electric young arm. As a Dodger fan, I was really hoping that we were going to get Chris Archer. But they went for Brian Dozier. They got Dozier instead. I don't think the Dodgers had the package or wanted to do the package that they did. But we'll see. I don't know. Does it put Pittsburgh over the top? Probably not. And it was sort of like, Seattle wasn't going to play at the tempo and the pace that they were playing. The Oakland Athletics have been sort of keeping this tempo up, which is fucking impressive. But they're lucky that they get the Blue Jays today, too.
I would have liked to have seen this move made by the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers are in first place.
I can't disagree with that.
They have a great lineup. You could have gave a piece away or two, and you get a starter in there that could be a number 2 or even a number 1. You have a lot of number 3 starters on that team. They didn't make any moves. Is your goal to just outscore everyone and shut them down in the bullpen?
Yeah.
I didn't like the non addressing that.
I
thought Tampa got better too. I thought they get Tommy Pham, Austin Meadows, Glasnow. They're a good little young team. Problem is they're not going to compete this year, but lineup's not bad there.
Dude, Tampa Bay fucking trade everyone on their fucking a every fucking year, and they're 81-81 every year. It's just what they do. Like,
yeah. They need a new stadium.
Remember, like the Memphis Grizzlies in the NBA for a few years? It finally caught up to them this year.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies did that. The Grizzlies would be like, all right, let's get rid of everybody and let's fire the coach. And then they'd be in the playoffs again. And it was like, man, these guys really fucking find a way all the time.
Plus, it doesn't help that Tampa's in the same division as, generally the Baltimore Orioles are good, Yankees and Red Sox. So.
Yeah. And, well, the Blue Jays are usually 500, right?
True. Yeah, it's
the Orioles, yeah. I mean, it's a Boston, New York division, and everyone.
I mean, up until this year, Gabe, you have to admit the Orioles are pretty good. They were always a team that challenged. They never
had pitching, but they could hit. They had a lot of good hitters.
Right.
So as far as this All-Star game, I guess it's pretty early. They're saying 7:30 tomorrow night. No joke.
I would imagine it would start at 8. You know how they put 7:30, so you start watching it.
All-Star, so they're going to introduce every player.
Yeah, right.
The whole, yeah. So the MLS haven't won one of these games since 2015, guys, which is going to, they're going to be fucking motivated for this. They beat the Tottenham 2-1. They lost, 2-1 to Arsenal last year. Giovinco playing against Juventus is going to be fired up. You got Joseph Martinez, who's just fucking crushing it. I really wish, though, I'm fucking disappointed. It's too bad Zlatan's not playing. That really sucks.
Yeah, that would have been fun to watch. Obviously him against, his old team and a lot of players they know very well. I mean, we have to remember this is not a Juventus team with their big boys. I mean, Ronaldo won't play. Mandzukic won't be in there. Higuain won't play. This is Emre Can, Sami Khedira, Marquisio, and Chiellini. I mean, Chiellini and Marquisio are combined like 80 years old. I mean, they're old guys at this point. They can still defend their ass off, though. But this is going to be a modified Juventus squad.
That crowd, bro. That crowd in Atlanta, this is different.
Yeah.
You're not playing just in front of 20,000 people. It's going to be fucking 72,000 people there tomorrow, being really gung-ho. I think it will help push the MLS side to realize, we got to win this game for fucking 70,000 people here for MLS too.
Right, and this MLS team, there's some good players on this team. I mean, they have a lot of talent here. I mean, even without David Villa and Ibrahimovic, you still have – Josef Martinez is probably the best goal scorer you've ever seen at the MLS level. I mean, you have some really good midfielders, Dos Santos and guys like that. Your defense is pretty solid. Bradley Wright Phillips up front as well with Giovinco. I like this team. I think they can get a result here. I'm looking more along the draw no bet option or the draw double chance, just kind of hosing my bet a little bit. But I think they can win. I'm going to have a little bit on the straight win as well.
All right. So where is it? It's under the elite Euro list?
Elite club friendly, I believe.
Club friendly list. Here it is. All right, club friendly. All right, here we go. Yeah, MLS All-Stars plus 220, plus 350 draw. Now let's take a look at some of these. I want to see, what are we going to get at plus a goal here or something?
Well, draw double chance would be plus half a goal, and that's, I think, even money.
I don't mind that. Although I think they win at plus 220.
Yeah, it's a right price. I mean, this is the strongest the MLS has been, and this is your chance to kind of prove that a little bit.
I'm looking forward to this.
It's crazy how excited we are about MLS now.
Yeah, I've always, like I said, I've always been pretty fired up about MLS over the years. I've been betting it more, but I've always bet it too. But it's just the league's getting better. So it's all right, MLS All-Star game. All right, here it is. Just wanted to look at the fucking scores again. Oh, that was it. So they tied last year 1-1, guys, Real Madrid. But then they lost on the penalty kicks. So if it's a draw, it goes to penalty kicks. They lost 2-1 to Arsenal. They beat Hotspur 2-1 in 2015. But as we stated, this is the best MLS has ever been. And we've watched this Juventus team play during this International Champs League, whatever the fuck they're calling it. And truth be told, most of their good players are fucking back home right now. We talked about it with Ronaldo not being there. You mentioned Higuain and all these guys. They're all back in Italy right now.
Mandzukic. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're getting ready for the season. Season starts in 18 days. I mean, they're getting ready for Chievo, and they're ready for the little friendly that they'll play again, inter-squad stuff, over the few days before. So their trip's ending. They have one more game at FedEx Field this weekend, and then it's back home. So, yeah, I mean, you're not going to overdo it here. And look, I mean, Benfica gave Juventus a game, didn't they? I mean,
yeah, it was 1-1.
Yeah. I mean,
and they dominated most of the play, to be honest, too.
Exactly. I think Juve, I'm a big Juve guy, but I think with this squad, I think it's going to be tough in a friendly against a team that I think really wants. I mean, this MLS team really wants it. It's going to be a great crowd. Vela is
impressive, actually. I'm looking here, big man. So this is the 14th time. So they played 13 MLS All-Star games against visiting teams. And MLS are actually 7-4-2.
They did a nice job.
They beat Fulham 4-1. They beat Chelsea 1-0. They beat Celtic 2-0. They beat West Ham United 3-2. They lost to Everton. They lost to Manchester United. They lost to Manchester United. They beat Chelsea. They lost to Roma. They beat Bayern Munich. They beat Tottenham Hotspur. They lost 2-1 in 2016 to Arsenal. And last year, MLS and Real Madrid played to a 1-1 draw. So generally, though, these All-Star games, you would expect them to go over the number here, big man. And look, let's use 2.5 as an example here. I mean, holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 of the last 10 games have had more than 2.5 goals in an MLS All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, you're generally going to see goals in games like these. I mean,
problem fucking is, I see here, it's minus 250. Fuck.
Yeah, you're going to have to lay 3 or 3.5, and I'm not ready to do that. I mean, Juventus is calling.
I think it's a 2-1 game. I think MLS All-Stars win the game 2-1.
I agree. I think you're right.
Let's fucking see. Maybe we can get a fucking man, yeah, the MLS All-Stars at plus 0.5 goal is nice too, guys. It wouldn't shock me if it was a draw after 90.
Yeah, I think the draw double chance looks real good at even money.
Yeah, we'll have some picks ready for this to fire up. So, yeah, I'll be joining you guys on the roundtable tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's you're filling in for Donnie, right?
Yeah, where's Donnie at tomorrow?
He's going to Eagles training camp.
He is, huh?
Yeah. He has. If you have season tickets, you get passes to it.
All right, that's pretty hardcore. He's gonna go to the practice.
Yeah. Yep. He'll be there. I think SBR thinks he's like trying out. He was telling me because like he says he's going to training camp, and Sophia's like, "Oh, you're finally trying out for the team. That's great." And he's like, "Yeah." And she like believed him. But yeah, you'll have. Ian Cameron. You'll have him bumping his gums for CFL, and
I like the fact Drew told me there's a segment 60 seconds with Ian Cameron.
it doesn't ever last. It's always like 2 minutes usually.
So what, he's supposed to blast through the CFL in like 2 minutes type thing, 60 seconds?
Yeah, it's like a whip around. Like he like talks about the CFL, and I just generally close my eyes and wait for him to finish. But yeah, I guess it'll be a bit extended with you around, and Drew might ask you a question or two.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to go. ACC sleepers, games of the week 1.
Also, Gabe, I wanted to throw out something to the listeners here. And this is a play that I'm personally betting. Champions League tomorrow. Red Star Belgrade, -134 against FK Sudova out of Lithuania. I'm on Red Star Belgrade. Second leg. Yes.
Sounds good. Red Star Belgrade. All right. Good shit.
I also like Celtic +130 against Rosenborg.
Oh, and we should note too, we mentioned this last night, but little change of plans, but not too bad. I'll still be there on Tuesday, big man. So I thought I was getting into New York on Monday. I'll now get into New York on Tuesday morning.
Nice.
Like 8 a.m. though. So we'll be ready to go on
What do you fly into? LaGuardia?
No, into Newark.
Oh, Newark. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're in that's right.
Yeah, but like, to be honest, Newark is actually easier to get into the city.
Sure.
Than LaGuardia. LaGuardia's a bitch, but
sure.
Like Newark Airport's a godsend, man. There's a train. It's like 25 minutes. It's fucking right into Manhattan type thing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's like $7 or something, but it's like right in, boom. Lets you off at Penn Station or 32nd Street, whatever.
Yeah, right there.
Same station. So, yeah, next big man's going to be coming to New York. Most likely, we'll see.
Yep, I'll be there.
Next Tuesday, we'll be doing the hits from New York City.
Yep, I'll get a train up right after I get done with my own show and come up and see you. I'll get some food. Do they still? Their restaurant's still in there, right?
Yeah. There's a restaurant in there.
Yeah, I'll get something. I'll eat something and
yeah, that's pretty good. It's good food. It's an upscale hotel, right? So
yeah.
The waitresses are pretty hot there.
Sure, I would imagine they would be.
Yeah. You should see the. We'll be there actually during the rush hour. The happy hour crowd.
Yeah, they just watch you, right?
Dude, it's the fucking. It's the fashion district.
Sure.
Like basically, it looks like Sex in the City or something. It's like fucking, and it's like Wall Street types. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like unless you're making fucking $600K, it doesn't. I don't care. Once was all these hot chicks, like New York business type chicks, like in really expensive clothes and shit. I was going to the Bills game that day, so I had a Jim Kelly jersey on. Fucking. I'm sitting in this upscale fucking patio with these fucking trendy New Yorkers. I got my Bills jersey on. Yeah, Sonny Betts lives down there. You know the deal.
Sonny Betts, he won the thing, didn't he? The World Series thing?
What's that?
He won the World Series thing, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good shit. What do you do, Sonny Betts? Like, what's your job?
LaGuardia is a shit show. And also, Sonny Betts, the airline I fly doesn't land at LaGuardia. It lands at Newark. I
would have thought you would have brought the private jet up, Gabe. What's up with that?
Yeah, it's in the shop.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, remember, wasn't it you who brought up chartering a jet? Fuck.
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
I've actually told my dad. I'm like, I wish you'd buy a plane, but he's
like $40,000. What was it?
Yeah, it was like it was like 80 to 85.
We all have to kick in like 4K or something. Yeah. What did it fit?
If you had 20 people, you need like
yeah,
a couple thousand a piece.
You do that, fuck. You want to be on a plane with 20 chicks, not 20 dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
You want like the LaShawn McCoy party. Sandy's asking, did you miss Gamblu? No, Gamblu's not supposed to be on.
I think he's only on fight nights.
Gamblu comes on the radio with me every Wednesday, Sandu. Gamblu will be on tomorrow. And then sometimes, big man, sometimes Gamblu is with us on Friday nights here. But mostly he joins me on Saturday where he has a drink and it's more private. He's laid back.
Yeah, he's hanging out in his man cave, just chilling.
Yeah. Sonny Betts does tech consulting.
Okay, cool. Sounds fun. There was one thing I also wanted to tell you before I jumped off here. I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't know. I forget what it was. But, Gabe, always fun. Let's rock with the MLS All-Stars.
Yeah, so we're on the same page. Let's say 2-1, guys. I don't see an exact score prop up here. Maybe, like, overnight they'll
yeah, they've been real weak at putting these lines up.
I know. You know what I mean? I'm looking now, like, Asian lines. The page is pretty thin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They don't,
like, it doesn't have that normal. I mean, Filipino soccer has more options. Like, I don't know what they're doing here.
No, I know. Badminton you could bet on more than
Dude, they didn't have a fucking All-Star game tonight. The under-20 game. Like, for the life of me, I don't understand that. Like, how the fuck do you have some of the in-game fucking shit that you have and you don't have under-20 MLS All-Stars fuck against the Mexican under-20 All-Stars? Like, for the life of me, I don't understand that.
Right. No, you're totally right. Yo, by the way, Gabe, that's what I want to tell you. Did you see that woman in New York that's suing Canada Dry because she claims that she thinks that the brand's a hoax because there's no ginger in ginger ale?
No.
Yeah. She's suing them for that.
Yeah. Sounds like she should fucking go fuck herself. Who's your lawyer, Tom Marino?
Actually, it is. Her lawyer, Thomarino T. Tomor, added, Miss Fletcher believed this meant Canada Dry was made using real ginger root. And as a result, it was a healthy alternative. So she's saying basically she thought it was healthier, but I guess isn't that why they have the label?
No, I don't know.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, it sounds kind of frivolous.
Yep.
Sounds pretty frivolous. Yeah, I was going to say, too, your boy Celtic play tomorrow against Rosenborg.
Yes, I like them. I mentioned that. Plus 130.
Yeah, plus 130. All right, I heard the Red Star
Belgrade and Celtic.
All right, big man. So congratulations on the trainer. I'm jealous. Me and Cam were jealous today.
Oh yeah? Why not?
Yeah, we got to get trainers now too. Fuck, you know.
You should. I felt quite good after it. It was a lot more rewarding. You know.
Yeah, for me to get a trainer would be to bulk up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Gabe, you know what? You know why I felt proud of this?
I'm the opposite, dude. I eat a lot actually, and I don't like my metabolism. I don't really ever gain weight. Yeah, a lot of people would be envious, I guess, but
I'm very envious of that. Ian Cameron told me he's like that as well. I mean,
Babano eats a lot of crap, exactly, and he doesn't. I don't know what it is. Genetics, I guess.
You know, one of the reasons I felt good about doing all this today is because last night I was before I came on your own show. I actually had a nice little rendezvous with a woman that I've known for years, a girl I've known for years. I dated her in high school. She kind of broke up with me, and my heart was broken. I didn't go to prom because of it. We've always maintained contact through all these years. I spoke to her, for the last couple of weeks. She calls me last night and says, "Hey, are you around? I was going to stop by." She stops by. Gabe, I was fucking blown away. This chick's body was unbelievable. And I said to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I got to fix myself up if I'm going to get this chick. And she looked to die for, Gabe. Unbelievable.
That sort of motivation, if that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why in the end, it's always women that motivate men. You ask any rock star like David Lee Roth, why'd you get into rock? He goes, to get laid. Basically, you ask football players, why do you like football? I like the women.
Exactly.
Like, very few of them say, you know what, I just love the sport, man. Just love it. Yeah, I mean, like, fucking, no. They love fucking going to the club and getting the hot chicks. Because
Gabe, she had the black, like, professional pants on with, like, the heels. She walked into my house, and I'm like, this chick is, like, what am I doing here? Why didn't I give this girl my all when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah, well, we all have regrets, don't we?
I'll get her back. I got that covered. She kissed me, Gabe, after, and I walked to her car. She kissed me. So maybe there's still a little bit there, you know?
Yeah, she gave you some hope.
She did. She gave me some fucking hope. Dude, Gabe, I remember the first blowjob she gave me. It was probably the best I've ever had in my life.
I think the last lady to kiss me was like my aunt or something. On the cheek. Yeah.
We got to get you. That's where you got to go to the gym, Gabe. There's so many broads at the gym.
Yeah.
What happened to that girl at the bank?
Oh, I don't know. She's never really there. I've only been back to the bank once or twice, too.
Damn, she was into you.
I'm leaving. I'm moving. I'm not going to be in the city anyways. In a couple.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
listen, you got to work out Michelle. You got to get Michelle Serpico. That's your next goal.
Yeah, that's not good to mix business and pleasure.
True. Never get high on your own supply. Good point.
Yeah, exactly. You never rob a bank in your own street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
Crap in your own backyard. There's a lot of analogies.
Shit where you eat. Right.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe.
We'll see you at 10 a.m.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, so it's 6-2 in his baseball game. We gave it a parlay, plus 149. It never dipped the Pennant Company Inc. Any other slogans we're missing out on this? All right, so tomorrow night, we'll have some fun. Tomorrow night, we'll talk NFL football. All right, and the question is, will anyone on Thursday score as many points as Washington scored tonight? 25 runs. So Thursday night football, guys, we got a preseason football game this Thursday. I'm sort of leaning right now with the Chicago Bears, but there's not a lot of information out right now about this game. And trust me, I've been looking. You know, evidently I got to look more and dig deeper. But now that the game, basically, I've been reading the Baltimore newspapers every day. I've been reading the Chicago newspapers. And so, you know, I know I'm pretty into these two because they were the first two teams to open up camp. Now everybody's opened up now, but the Ravens and the Bears were the first since they're playing first. So they've been open for about a week now. And I've been tracing it pretty good. The Bears are fucked up with this Roquan Smith shit. He's the only first-round pick unsigned. It's ridiculous. The Bears are fucking idiots. They have some clause in the contract where he doesn't get his guaranteed money if he gets suspended. Yeah, so basically they insulted him right out of the gate with this. And now, secondly, there's new rules in the NFL with the tackling, which I talked about before and nobody cared because it wasn't a sexy topic. But now everyone's freaking out about this. And basically, Richard Sherman's like, oh, it's a disaster. Everyone's going to get suspended. The Eagle players fucking walked out of a meeting, freaked out, oh, my God, we didn't know this. Well, fuck, they told you 2 months ago, assholes. I knew this 2 months ago, so you must have known. I don't know how you don't know if I knew. You can't lower your head anymore. So Roquan Smith had a good point. He's like, what if I get suspended for fucking tackling someone wrong? Do I lose my bonus money? The Bears are just stupid. The Bears have always been cheap. You know what I mean? They just have been. And you notice the Bears don't have any problem hiring new coaches and bringing in a guy from Oregon. Everyone gets their money. The NFL, like I said, man, we'll watch it anyways, but I'm on the side of the better, all right? The players, for the most part, are just fucking assholes. The owners are fucking dickhead douchebags. But if you look at it, a good example now is look at the Raiders. The Raiders are bleeding money, and I don't mean bleeding in a bad way. I mean, they have money falling out of their pockets and their briefcases. It's Las Vegas bent over backwards, built the fucking stadium for you. You got free fucking financing. You got an amazing market in Vegas. And the league didn't even want you to do it at first. You did it anyways. You're still fleecing the fucking people in Oakland. You're selling merchandise in Oakland. You're taking money from the TV contract. You know, you gave John Gruden $10 million a year, but you can't pay Khalil Mack. You know, oh, we can't pay the linebacker. You know, it's not, oh, well. It's everyone else gets paid except the players, right? So, when NFL players hold out and shit, don't get pissed off at them. The owners are fucking dickheads, but the owners have fucking have most of the fans brainwashed, right? Oh, Le'Veon Bell, he's so greedy. The Steelers offered him $70 million, and he said no. No, the Steelers didn't offer him $70 million. They offered him $33 million, guaranteed. All right? That's all. And it was 2 years. So basically, they promised to give him $33 million over the next 2 years, and anything after that was up to them. That's not $70 million. But the average fan will say, oh, Le'Veon Bell's greedy. Here's Mike Tomlin, like, threatening him now. That's the way it works, man. It's a business. It's a business. Exactly, Joey. Like, the Raiders are hot in LA even. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Big Will, we don't have our first bad beat of the night. Hopefully, we don't have our first bad beat of the night. Fuck. You're right, though. Thursday night football, Big Will, between the fucking college games and the NFL shit games. Thursday night, how many times have we said that? It's been years, fuck. It's been years, fuck. Why do we bet these Thursday night fucking games? The Thursday night college games are a lot worse than they used to be, too. They used to actually have pretty good college games on Thursday. Now they're kind of shit, but. All right, we'll see you guys at 10 a.m. Bright and early. It's all right. I got to get used to it, fuck. We'll be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow right here on SBR on the round table. Tomorrow afternoon, we got Gamblu. We'll talk MMA. We got another UFC card this week. We'll be on the radio at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we'll have Babano on. We'll talk about the MLS All-Star game. We're on the MLS All-Stars to win the game at plus 220. I'll post, like, once we see some more, like, props and different fucking angles for the All-Star game, we'll hit that too. But a quick check on the way out right now. We gave you, that was a nice parlay here. Arizona Diamondbacks and the Oakland Athletics turned out to be plus 149. Arizona took care of business at 6-2 right now. We gave you under 8 in the Houston-Seattle game. Said take under 8 runs. Last night I said take under 7 runs. Said take under 8 runs this time. Now it's 3-2 in the 8th inning, so that's looking all right. But, yeah, still not done. But we are. We'll see you at 10 a.m. If we don't, then, hey, that's on you, man. But in all sincerity, I do like the MLS All-Stars to win the game tomorrow. Plus 220. And I'm not opposed to taking the MLS All-Stars plus a half a goal at plus 100 either. Because it wouldn't surprise me if it did go to penalty kicks after 90 minutes. Thanks, King Ganja. All right, thanks to Jeff Feinberg for joining us, man. He likes Tiger Woods this week. He really does. He likes Tiger Woods in the Bridgestone Invitational. We'll see you in the morning. Other than that, hey, you're on your own. Later. Thanks, Kenny.